So, quick note before we start. Real nice, shiny youth. Oh, wait, you can't see that camera. It's the other camera. I'm over here showing the phone. I was like, oh, shit, wrong camera.
Alright, welcome back everybody to another episode of V-Time, episode 246.
Oh, was that 246?
It is 246, yeah.
Shit, we're halfway to... Shit, I don't know why I said halfway. We're so close to 250 right now.
Yeah, a little bit more. But, as we had a almost 3-hour long V-Time trying to cover a lot of stuff that we missed because we took like a break, and then transition into a V-Time that was like 15 minutes because there was just only promos. Potentially 3-hour long V-Time again because Buddyfight decided to go, boy.
Oh yeah, Buddyfight is saying we showing up when we showing everything.
Yeah, and as such, I got Hector here because outside of our group, he is probably the Buddyfight expert.
You say expert with so much confidence. I barely learned to start to play the game right before they announced that it was discontinuing.
Okay, everybody in our group, who knows how to play Buddyfight the most out of all of us?
Okay, to be fair, yeah.
So, in our group, you are the fucking expert.
And again, it also has been... How long ago was it since Buddyfight was around? What, 4?
I want to say 5 years?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years?
You taught me how to buddy fight while I was still in my college dorm.
Fuck. It's been yeah, about 4 or 5 years.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Anyway, without further ado, let's just get this show on the road.
And like her husband is really on board with it, so proud of her. She got her first milk jug and gives it to the dude. It's like, how's it taste, you know?
You know, I've been thinking about coming back into Vanguard. What do I got to do to get started?
Well, we have some starter decks you could try.
Yeah, but this is a structure deck. This is going to be very strong.
You can also buff them with these.
Yeah, but these are naked. How do I protect these?
You want protection? We got mats and sleeves.
How am I supposed to keep up with all of this?
Got the box for your decks and then your dice for your gameplay.
Yeah, but this is all newer stuff. If I want to play with my old stuff.
Well, glad you say that, because we got some vintage products as well.
This stuff is awesome. Where can I get more of this?
50 cards!
All this and more at 50cards.shop. Use code TDHeroes for a discount.
Yeah. Now, as this mentioned Buddyfight right away, but we do have 3 more promos as part of the 6 new shop tournament promos that kind of dropped. And we got to go through them and see exactly what decks they decided to support. And I know Hector's going to be happy for... Actually, are you going to be happy for any of them? Technically not.
I would have been happy for the sorceress, but she was a letdown.
It's been... Yeah. Anyway, we'll start us off with the Dragon Empire one with Drag Ritter Nahara. She's a grade 2 that supports Variable of all things. Already getting a promo, nice. Anyway, it says continuous rearguard. If you have a grade 3 or grade of Vanguard with Variable in its card name, this unit gets boost, making a 10k booster. And an Act rearguard drop zone. If your card with the same card name as this card was not bound this turn, bind this card. Choose one of your grade 3 or grade of Vanguards with Variable in its card name, and it gets auto Vanguard when this unit attacks. All of your front row units get power 5k until the end of turn. Until the end of the turn. Why does that remind me of a certain order in Dragon Empire?
Well, with Dragon Essence, it's when it restands, the entire board gets 10k. This is just mini Persona Ride right off the bat.
Yeah, but doesn't he already restand? Like, he restands, which means he's swinging twice, which means you're giving basically a full Persona Ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not a once per turn. It's when it attacks, you do it.
Yeah. With Dragoness is like when it attacks, technically when it restands is when it gets it. And then this is just wait.
Yeah, this is on attack 5k.
Oh,
which is first swing 5k.
It doesn't have the once per turn too.
No. So first swing 5k, restand, second swing 5k.
It's essentially the same thing.
Not to mention it can be activated from drop. It's like, oh look.
Mm-hmm. It can be activated from drop, and then it's like if you have it, you can put it in the rear guard, so you're not forced to have to play order. So,
oh Hector, I just realized.
What?
It's a little bit of finding all the pieces. Granted, one of the pieces, like we see with this card, can just be and drop, so it doesn't really matter. But can you imagine Persona Ride, remove this, bind this, and then also activate Drag Essence, whatever the fucking order is called?
Yeah, somebody is going to try and do that, and it'll be a very scary turn.
It's like on attack with Vanguard, plus 5 to front row, so my front row is not 25. Sorry, it's now 15. And then if I remember correctly, the rear guard's 4 variable gain 5k per retire that you use your energy blast skill for, which means they can get already a plus 15, so that's just giant numbers there already. And then restands, another 10k to front, swing again, another 5k, so 30k to front row just because.
Mm-hmm. And that's without Persona Rides.
You know what that reminds me of?
Gandiva.
I was going to say Thegria, but Gandiva too.
Oh yeah, Thegria too. The double Persona Ride.
Anyway, speaking of Keter and Thegria, this is not something for Thegria, but it is, like Hector mentioned, for Sorceress. So what do we get?
So we got a grade 1 called Vertical Long Sorceress. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, cost CB1, perform one of the following based on the graded Vanguard source at the time. If it's grade 2 or less, draw a card. Mediocre. Grade 3 or greater. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose one card among them, put it in your hand, and put the rest on either top of your deck or soul. So you're stacking, but also filling up soul if you need to, plus adding card to hand. So replace itself. And the other ability is, once per turn auto, if you wrote Persona Ride this turn, this cost is reduced by Soul Blast 1. When your other rearguard in the same column of this unit stand, if you have a grade 3 rearguard or Vanguard with Sorceress card name, cost CB1 and sand this unit. Soul Blast 1. As much as it's nice, you get an extra booster for your restanding rearguards, it doesn't help the deck what it wants to do.
It does and doesn't. Okay, so here's my perspective on this card after for 5 hours playing Minerva of all things. This is a restanding booster on Persona Ride turns for free, non-Persona Ride turns for Soul Blast. But this is a restanding booster that also has a Coco effect.
Yes.
That's free, technically.
Yeah.
When I say free, it's like... Yeah, Coco is a card from hand to soul to look at 2, put one to hand, put one on top, or put it into soul. While this one's a CB, which means this technically pluses for a CB. And then you either get your soul... The what now?
If I'm not mistaken, like... The only thing you needed soul was for the grade 2s. Like, the Vanguard doesn't require...
Yeah, for the restander.
Yeah. No, not the restander.
I will say...
No, the only thing that required CB was just that grade 2. We really didn't use it for anything else. The Vanguard was just soul.
Yeah. Vanguard is soul. The rearguard, I think, was also something like soul or maybe CB. Regardless, soul was a very important resource, I remember, because one of the newer supports that came with Akar Mir was, hey, look at top card. If it's useful, leave it. If not, put it into soul type deal.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that it's still a turn 4 deck.
I mean, a lot of decks are still a turn 4 deck and they do a lot of good things. Like, look at Razel. Razel is a really fucking strong deck and it's technically a turn 4 deck when you go into Vita.
That is true, but I haven't touched Hexa Orb in God knows how long. Probably since Aquamarine came out and I was just terrorizing people at locals with crits and fronts and everywhere.
I will say... if you can make a good soul engine in Hexorb, I feel like this card has a space, and CB is not going to be a problem because the whole nation got a countercharger grade 1 now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like, even back then, the OG one, like, we used to run the set 10 cyclers where you have to Soul Blast one to discard it and then draw one. You could completely empty out your soul by the time you get to grade 3. Your own skills, like that same grade 2 that you mentioned, and the other grade 2 that you have, that's a CB1, look top 2, put 1 to soul or something. You are constantly filling your soul without having to add extra soul charge. So I don't really think soul is going to be an issue.
Yeah, but you got to remember the countercharge is Soul Blast 2 countercharge and also Soul Blast 1 retire, draw a card, which means theoretically it can be very useful, but you just got to manage that soul.
That is true. You can still hear me, everything. All right.
Yep, I can still hear you. I can still see you. Anyway, we'll see if we get a chance to Textile Hexorb in the future, but until then, well, we got to move on with another promo, and this one is for Maelstrom of all things. Like I'm curious to see how they pick who gets a promo when. That mindset is very interesting to me.
It really is.
Anyway, we got Undaunted Assault.
Undulate.
It's a grade 1. Huh?
Undulate, not undaunted. Undulate.
Oh, Undulate. And here I was proud of myself that I actually read it right. Oh well. Undulate Assault. It's a great one for Maelstrom, like I mentioned. It has 3 interesting abilities. First one is continuous. If you have a Vanguard Aquaforce for its clan, this card belongs to Aquaforce and gets all the following. So basically, how to make an encounter card without making an encounter card. And then auto drop when the Blue Storm Armada you played from hand is put into the order zone, Energy Blast 3 and call this card to rearguard. And then auto rearguard when this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Maelstrom in its card name. This unit gets power 2k, making a 10k booster until the end of that bell. Soul Blast 1, choose 2 of your other rearguards and swap their position. So is this just Wheel Assault on crack?
Yeah. Wheel Assault on crack that keeps coming back. As long as you play it order and
so it's like
A and B.
It's basically a guaranteed Wheel Assault as long as you keep playing order, which, if I remember correctly, some old support or some newer support basically guarantee you always be able to do that somehow. Because, there was a grade 2 that looks at top 5 and then adds an order or an Aquaforce or a Maelstrom, I think.
Oh, yeah. That came out a while ago, too, yeah.
There's ways to basically find the order. You get a guarantee order just by riding up anyway. So you can discard this early. You play the order. You call a different kind of Aquaforce, or it was a specific dragon, and then you Energy Blast 3 and call this as well. So basically, playing the order, you get 2 cards on the board for 3 energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a Wheel Assault.
I mean, I don't think Maelstrom was hurting for promos, but they're definitely going to be happy with this.
I feel like if anybody was playing still Wheel Assault, they just cut their Wheel Assaults down to less copies. Because the second you see one of this, you're set for the whole game.
Oh, yeah. They probably won't even play all 4. They'll probably just, if they want to see it as soon as possible, yeah, they probably will play 4.
Exactly. Anyway, I think that's it for the promos. And as with that, we move straight into the whole Buddy Fight set and a literal fuck ton of cards.
A metric.
So Hector, before we start, what was the whole gimmick of Buddy Fight? Like, what did your board have, or what did your board represent, and how did you play it, or like a quick description?
So, quick description. It was you had you. And then you had a 3, if I remember correctly, it was 3 areas rather than 6, which kind of worked the same way. That, like, you were the person is the one that is fighting, but you have your 3 areas in front where you can call your units, your buddies and whatnot. Most of the time you call them down, and it's kind of like the magic where you have to take them out in order to attack you directly. And you needed to be able to do that. You needed to get down, I forget how much the life was. I think it was like 20, 18, 12. I can't remember the level I had it. But we had gauges, and every single time to gauge, whenever you drew, you can put a card in your hand into the gauge to be able to do that. That was kind of like your CB, and then you draw another card. And then there was a formation where you could use either, the one I liked was you call just one big monster where it was hard to get over, and then just call a little small one to the rear where you kind of support, or leave your open field while you yourself are also attacking. It was very interesting.
If I remember correctly, you had like an emblem or a flag that did stuff, that gave you special abilities, right?
Sort of. The flag is basically the equivalent of nations/clans. That's all it is. Well, yeah, basically, if for example, the flag was just a, hey, I am playing Cater. The moment you open it, okay, I know what clan you are playing. You specifically what deck it is. It could be changed.
Funny you say that. Start off with the flag.
The flag, which also happens to be, if I'm not mistaken, our starter.
Yep.
The fact that it's a 0k power too, is Dragon World Buddy Fight flag. So auto Vanguard, when you stand up, costs say open the flag and you become a buddy fighter. When you become a buddy fighter, put a buddy monster from your right deck into your order zone. So now you have 5 cards in your order zone?
I believe you still have 4. You just put a buddy monster from there in there.
Basically, you set up your buddy. And then continuous, you can only put 1 flag in your deck. And then the other continuous skill, all Vanguard order zone. This card is unaffected by all their abilities and effects. And when you would ride or call or play the ability of a card that is only buddy fight, if that card is a Dragon World or a generic, you can ride or call or play that ability. Basically allowing you to play whatever. It's for Dragon World generics. Yeah. No, so it's 6 for buddy fight.
And also, apparently, am I looking at this? Yeah, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, you also get your own ride deck crest for buddy fight. That's not quite the same as your ordinary ride deck crest. Because this one says, auto ride deck, when you ride, costs put a flag from your soul into your order zone. Therefore, you can literally only play this in buddy fight. Put this card into the crest zone and put the top 2 cards of your deck face down as gauge. Continuous, you can have gauge. And in auto, when this card is put into the crest zone or at the beginning of your ride phase, put a card from hand face down as a gauge, draw a card. And then the last ability is called Buddy Call. Act once per fight, so basically a divine skill. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose a buddy monster from your order zone, call it to rearguard, and counter charge 1.
That was the whole thing with buddy fight, is every single deck along with their flag had a specific buddy that they choose. Most of the time it was their main monster. So you could technically have 4 in the deck, as you could have a 5th one that was your buddy. So in case for some reason your deck was just shitting on you and you couldn't find the main one of your combo pieces, you could just buddy call and bam, it's right there.
So maybe you do have 6 cards in your ride deck then.
Yeah.
The buddy monsters,
Yeah. As Matt pointed out, 0, 1, 2, and 3, then the ride deck crest and the buddy. So a total of 6.
Yeah, so you place your buddy monster, gauge, and flag in the order zone and crest zone. So they're all easily distinct. Oh, fuck. That's a lot of cards. This whole area in the top left corner of your map is always going to be so fucking full in this set, apparently.
Because you got to think, this is where your flag is going. This is also where your gauge is going. That's also where your buddy is at before you call him or whatever else.
Hector, start us off, I guess, with the grade 1 of the ride line now, because once you go from the flag into this, and then make the crest and put the flag into the gauge zone and yada yada and stress zone, whatever. What are we starting with the ride line? Like, what are we doing?
So the ride line for this one, for Dragon Roll specifically, is the OG character, Aibo Academy Mikado Gao, aka Gao formation and everything else. So his ability is auto. When this unit is placed from riding Dragon Roll, prefer one of the following. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 armor dragon or item card from among them, and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. And then the other one is search your deck for up to 1 Sunfist, Sunshine Impact, arm it to this unit without paying the cost, and shuffle your deck.
I love how we're reading these effects and we have no idea what these mean yet. So I'm going to skip ahead.
So I do know some of the things. Like, for example, the Sunfist Impact. So they introduced a mechanic at the very end, right before it was canceled at Impact, which was at the end of your turn, is that you can play an Impact, or it was like you had a specific time, but most of the time it was like at the very end of the turn, you played an Impact. It's kind of like a last ditch order, and you would do something specifically. Most of the time they were kind of like game breaking stuff like that. But there's also items which you could use to equip to your buddy or to you specifically, same way you would equip to like Bob Sagara. Specifically, this guy, he always called a gauntlet, which I think we say later on.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll get to those in a hot minute. We first need to cover the ride line fully, so we're going to jump straight into the grade 2 ride line. Mikado style Aki Jin Jitsu Mikado Gao. I don't know what all that means. I don't really care. It's a grade 2 for the ride line that has 1 ability. Auto when this unit is placed on Vanguard. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with drum in its card name, or up to 1 item card from them, really putting to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is the same thing as the grade 1, except that it doesn't have the option of also arming the specific card that you were talking about. I'm gonna Sunshine Impact, yeah. So when we get to Sunshine Impact, we'll kind of have context.
Yes. When we get to it, we'll see the item.
So the ride line specifically is targeting the Sunshine Impact, drum, or 1 item card. So we got 3 different things there. I have no idea what they are. But before we get to any of those, let's actually read the main Vanguard, it seems.
Main Vanguard is Mighty Sunfighter Gao Mikado. So he's a grade 3, 1300, everything normal, because it should be in Vanguard. So his ability is auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attacks, cost, rest one of your rear guards, and the unit rest for this cost and this unit both become in a link attack state until the end of the battle. For the units in the link attack state, total up the total power. In a way, kind of think of it like Legion in a way, but not really.
Makes sense.
Yeah, as far as like the total power. And then auto Vanguard sprint. At the end of the battle, this unit attack cost CB1. Choose one of your rear guards in the link attack state. Stand it, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 reader, choose one of your opponent's rear guard. Choose one of your rear guards, with drum in its card name and stand it. And then trying to see here, my buddy. So it has the last ability, my buddy or no buddy. Act Vanguard once per turn, cost Soul Blast 1, search your deck or drop for up to 1 Drum Bunker Dragon, call it to rear guard, and reduce the cost to pay for that unit's original act by 1 gauge until the end of turn. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck.
My brain.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
So on attack, you rest the rear guard.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes link state. And then at the end of the battle, you can plus 1 stand the link state as well as a drum. So if the link state's in the front row, you technically stand it, but you're not multi-attacking because you have to rest it. So, or maybe you rest the boot. I don't know. Right now, it's just looking like a 4-attack deck.
So if your opponent is grade 3, it's
3
5
or
attacks
greater.
because if your opponent is grade 3, so they would be you would attack with drum, attack with the Vanguard, because you would rest your link state. Technically, the link state doesn't have to be in the front row; it could technically be in the back row because it just says.
Yeah,
choose
but
one
that
of them.
link state didn't attack, which means you're just standing something that was already standing that you rested. So it's like it's still only 4 attacks.
Yeah, so it would do that. I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of one of the other things I could. Yeah, so it's a 4 attack deck for right now, which when we see later on, it's actually kind of better that way.
And then it makes one of your Drumbucker dragons basically free by instead of paying a gauge, which just tells me that apparently gauge is a second form of counterblast in this deck.
So gauge is the resource, is the best way to put it.
So Buddy Fight has 4 resources. Energy. Actually, hold up. You don't have energy in this deck. Wait a minute. I just realized something.
Oh, you're right.
You don't have energy in this deck because the crest is not energy.
Yeah, you can
So
use
instead
gauge.
of energy, you got gauge.
So you have CB, soul, and gauge. Yeah. But the reason why the gauge is important is because in order to call anything, you needed to be able to pay its gauge cost, unless they had no gauge cost. So if you run out of gauge, you couldn't play. You had a whole bunch of cards in your hand that were just dead because you had no gauge.
Interesting. All right, so let's move on. We're getting an answer to one of the earlier questions because we're now about to read the normal order item, Sunfist Sunshine Impact. It's an arm card, an arm Vanguard. After being played, your Vanguard arms it. If a new item is armed, put this card into a drop. So basically, it's like Bavsagara, but instead of having 2, you have only 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then play this with cost, pay 1 gauge. So instead of CB or anything, it's in there's the gauges, yeah. Continuous Vanguard. During your turn, your Vanguard gets 5k, and if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Gao in its card name, which you probably always will, all of your front row rear guards with drum in their card names get power 5k. So basically, it's a mini Persona ride. It is a mini Persona ride because it's like 5k to Vanguard and 5k to rear guards, yeah. It's a fucking mini Persona ride. Not to mention, with the grade 1 Rideline can actually arm it right away. So by turn 1, you can already have 5k to Vanguard. So 13k grade 1, 15k grade 2, and then 18k grade 3. All right, that's kind of cool. And then auto Vanguard once per turn when your Vanguard attacks a grade 3 or greater unit. If your buddy monster rearguard is in the link attack state, discard a Sunfist Sunshine Impact from your hand, so a copy of itself, and until the end of battle, increase or decrease your Vanguard's power to infinity? And it gets critical +1 until the end of... I remember seeing the memes about infinity, and I think I remember reading this, but reading it again is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so 100 million power, everybody complaining about for OTs. Yeah, this has got nothing on that.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is a PG or GG effect because it's like either you PG'd in this or you're taking the double critical attack, apparently. I will say, in the flavor of Buddy Fight, if I remember correctly, this makes sense because it was like what Buddy Fights, Buddy Monsters, when you were attacking something, it was almost a guarantee hit. There was not much about power scaling, right?
No, it did have a little bit of power scaling. I forget. Because
I remember
one,
some part about Buddy Fight where, like, if you swing, it's basically a guarantee hit. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering.
It has been a while. I remember there was, yeah, because there wasn't many defensive spells. There was, there were defensive spells. There were just units that had defensive spells.
Look, man, it's been a hot minute. Regardless, infinite fucking power. All right, here we go.
Yeah, infinite fucking power.
We finally
on the bright side is you only have 4 in the deck. You're gonna use 1 to arm, so you only have 3 that there's a possibility that they're gonna see in the deck to, make it infinite double crit.
Motherfucker, if I ask my opponent, hey, how many PGs in public areas, and they say 4, okay, cool, GG. What the fuck?
This is also why the card known as Evergreen Transfer has shot up in value. Do you remember what that is?
Why? Yeah, it
So-
says when you hit an OT, anything that has 100. It says 100 million. Does it say 100 million power or more?
It says over 100 million, I think, or something. I can't remember. Yeah. So
I
even though
have
this,
3 of them in here because I'm not using them.
yeah, no, trust me, I have the same thing. So it's basically, this would be a double crit. It would just bring it down to only 1 crit, even though it's an infinity power.
100 million or greater. Yeah.
Yeah, so that way, at least if you play this, it's not double crit. You know, the GG. It's at least you could take one.
How much do they spike in price?
They went up. I think they're like at least 15s now, maybe.
I got 3 here.
That's why you started
maybe
seeing them go up in price and everything.
Hey man, maybe they go up in price even more, and then we'll see. Regardless, very interesting. Hector, I'm very sure because of the previous image telling us we can have 6 cards in our ride line. Read basically the buddy monster.
One of the buddy monsters. You can choose buddy to be your buddy for the fight.
Okay, you are correct. You can choose any, but according to the graphic they showed where you can have 6 cards in your ride line, they chose this one specifically, and I'm pretty sure this one's also mentioned in the Vanguard's ability with the whole my buddy thing. So I'm pretty sure this is the buddy.
Come back to that later. No. We'll come back to that later.
Shit. Wait,
yeah.
There's more of them that have the same fucking name?
Yeah, okay, so...
Never mind.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so this one's name specific is just Drum Bunker Dragon. And it's very important for that later. So the call
No,
cost...
actually, no. Stop. Before you read it. I am still correct. In the Vanguard's ability, my buddy, or nobody, or a nobody, whatever... It says search your deck or drop for up to 1 Drum Bunker Dragon. It doesn't say in its card name. It says specifically 1 Drum Bunker Dragon. You have to specifically search this one.
You are correct, Riz. When you are searching specifically, yes. But
Right now you may read the damn card.
Yeah, but the other second ability of where it restands a drum is, that's where it also counts. Anyways,
Yeah, okay,
so... it's a grade 2, normal grade 2 like everything else, Drum Bunker Dragon. Its call cost, as I mentioned, it is pay 1 gauge, put the top card of your deck into this unit's card's Buddy Soul. To Buddy Soul, to kind of reiterate, was the kind of thing where it was what protection counted. So you could have like 6 Buddy Soul into it. You needed to attack it 6 times in order for it to die. That's where the whole thing of like power scaling was kind of just like, if it hit, as long as the power was greater, it was going to hit, it was fine. But if you had no soul, then it was going to die. But if you had 5, oh, look, I get 1 of its soul, rid of its soul, and I still have 3 more attacks I can take.
Valid.
Yeah, so that's where the whole thing is. Act, rearguard, cost, pay 1 gauge, search deck, or drop, or up to 1 unit card with drum in its different card name from this unit, call it on top of this unit, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. It basically allows you to get another drum on top of it. That's probably why that's going to be pretty good. If your opponent's other continuous ability is if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your unit with drum in his card name that has this card as a buddy soul gets power plus 5k and 5k shield. Also active during your opponent's turn. And then continuous soul guard, if this card would leave the rear guard, put a card from this unit's buddy soul into the drop and make this unit stay on the rear guard. This is what I was explaining earlier about the whole.
Yeah,
as long as it has,
I remember this about buddy. I remember this. They had souls, and it's like I hit it. Remove a soul. It still stays here, but it has 1 less soul. So you have to keep hitting the same thing to get rid of it. And the more souls it had, the longer it stayed there. Oh, I remember this. This makes so much.
I remember because my specific deck, dual Jaegers, I could have like 10 soul on this big beefy motherfucker, you could hit it all you want, and you could try to get. I'm just gonna keep putting shit back in.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense now. So it's 1 gauge to play, apparently. 1 gauge to activate the ability to basically evolve it, upgrade it to a different drum. And then while it's in soul, or in the body soul technically, it gives 5k power, 5k shield, so you can technically have whatever is on top be an interceptor. But wait, if this card would leave rear guard, put a card from... I'm not even gonna attempt to use my brain to for this ruling, because it says if this card will leave rear guard, put a card from this unit's buddy soul into drop and make this unit stay on rear guard. So what if I decide to intercept? It's leaving rear guard. Do I remove a soul and put it back? Does it still intercept?
I didn't think about that.
I'm not gonna even, like I said, I'm not gonna use my brain cell for that. That's a topic for another day.
That is because I was thinking is like, you attack into it, fine, it stays. But what if I intercept? I'm like, well, shit. Basically, it means you can't intercept. We have to look at the roll.
I know, right? It's like, well, yeah, you can intercept, and then you can use the soul guard to make it come back. But now is the actual intercept gonna work? Like, it's not in Guardian Circle, which means, did you intercept? Okay. Anyway, 2 gauges to play the upgrade, and then it's a 5k buffer, and then it's soul guard, which means yada yada yada. Very interesting. And then just a reminder, the grade 3 Vanguard's ability, my buddy, Soul Blast 1 gets this on the board and makes its act ability that costs a gauge free. So instead of wasting 2 gauge, you can Soul Blast 1 and get all of it done, which is kind of cool. Now we can actually read the other drums and figure out what exactly you want to upgrade to. And I'm scrolling a little bit forward. It looks like you have 4 options, if not more, that you can kind of upgrade to and use. So we're going to start off with the first one on this arbitrary list in front of us. Thundering Knight's Drum Bunker Dragon. Its call cost is also pay... Huh?
Thunder Knights was another archetype in the Buddy 5 back then.
Well, there we go. All right, so its call cost is pay 1 gauge, but put both the top card of your deck and a card from your drop into this card's Buddy Soul. Wait a minute. Hold up, I'm gonna read something real quick. So this card the previous card never specifies that it becomes the Buddy Soul. It has a Buddy Soul, but then when you would call over it with this, it would go to drop. But then this thing says, just put the thing you call over drop, just put it underneath this as a Buddy Soul now.
Yes.
I'm going to finish reading this before my brain keeps continuing on weird things. So, auto when this unit is moved from rearguard to Guardian Circle until the end of battle, this unit gets shield 5k. Then if it gets additional shield 5k for each of this unit's Buddy Soul. So if it has 2 Buddy Soul, it's a 20k interceptor. If it has that specific drum, it's a 25k interceptor.
So
interesting.
AKA you're a shield.
Yeah. Auto rearguard once per turn when this unit either attacks a grade 3 or greater unit or becomes in the link attack state. This unit gets power 5k until the end of turn, which is kind of nice. And then continuous soul guard. If this card would leave rearguard, put a card from this unit's Buddy Soul, drop, yada yada. So basically, I think all of them are going to have soul guard.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them do.
Okay. So here's where my brain is working, right? Soul Guard says if this card would leave Guardian Circle, put a card from this unit's Buddy Soul into drop and make this unit stay on rearguard. Okay. Never mind. My brain was thinking like if I overcall it, can I remove a Buddy Soul and recall this to another circle? But it does say stay on rearguard, so I'm going to assume it implies stay on the same fucking rearguard.
Yes, no, you could, you could not, call over it and technically soul guard. No, once you would call over, it would go into the soul.
Yeah, and they've fixed it to where going, okay, we're not gonna say put the things that you called over Jewel Knight-esque, make them into like it's not overdress. It's like they still go to drop, but then this card says, put the top card of your deck and a card from your drop as this card's Buddy Soul. So it's like, okay, cool. Which does so just by the 2 cards we just read, I'm starting to think this has potential of deck out or / being wasteful. Because think about it, right? The original drum is put the top card of your deck into this card's Buddy Soul. So it has Soul Guard. But then when you use its ability to call over it, you're wasting 2 cards, putting one of them back as into Soul Guard, but you're taking another card from the top of your deck. So whatever card from the top of the deck you took for the first time is now kind of dead. Gone. Goodbye.
Technically, yeah. And you also have to think about this. Every single time that you would ride, basically at the start of your turn, if you want gauge, you have to take one from your hand, put it in there, and draw another card. So you're constantly
going through your deck fast.
You're going through your deck. That's why Buddy Fight decks were significantly bigger than Vanguard decks. God, what was it? 60 cards, I think?
That kind of made sense. Anyway, this Thundering Knights was 100% a shield card. Moving on, what's the next drum?
This is a fun one. So this is Crimson Battler Drum Bunker Dragon. Call cost, pay 1 gauge and put either the top card of your deck or a card from your drop in the soul. So rather than having to do both, this one you can choose either one. And then auto rigor once per turn. When this unit either attacks or becomes in the link attack state, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Cow card name and its card name, this unit gets +1 critical until the end of turn. Oh, until the end of turn.
Nice.
And
yeah,
then
because
it
link
just
attack
has,
state rests it, which means it would be pointless to its battle because it's not really attacking.
and then attack with this one first. Yeah, use a Vanguard skill, restand this one again, so that's a 2 double critical attacks. Jesus.
No,
Anyways.
no, it is a once per turn. It is a once per turn.
No, I'm just saying when it attacks, it gets the critical into the end of turn.
Yeah.
So it's still double critical. Yeah, it's once per turn.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go 2 to 3 crit and shit. Yeah, no. And also has Soul Guard as well. Yeah. So this is just a little bit more offensive bastard.
Yeah, I feel like this makes sense. Like the guard, the intercept guarder was 2 soul. That way, if people try to retire it, you still have your 25k shield. And this one is just 1 soul because Buddy Fight mechanics. But it's not that. It's more of an attacker than a defensive card, so it makes a lot more sense. I also want to say, this just clicked to mind. This has the potential to be one of the best or one of the worst matchups for Gandiva. Because it's like, if this card would leave, this stays on rigor. So it's like, I attempt to retire. I did not retire. I get to draw cards, but your shit's staying. So it's like, that on that aspect is bad, but at the same time, it's like, well, I have multiple targets to retire now. I can keep doing effects. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do the thing. Well, the problem is that the more you keep calling, the more cards you are taking out of your deck in order to put it into the soul for the call cost.
Also, at this current point, I have not noticed. Yes?
I would say like that's kind of where it balances itself out. Like you can put one from the drop zone or from the top deck, and it's going to be able to live longer. But the more you're calling it, the faster you're going through.
Oh God, I just realized. I know I talked about Gandiva and it's like a toss-up. On a separate note, because Gandiva was always the upgrade. Man, if for some fucking reason anybody's still deciding to play Eugene, playing against Buddy Fight is just a bad time. It's like, I want to retire your boar. Why isn't it going away?
Wait, I just realized about bind. This also works technically against bind.
Yeah, nothing can remove them. Like, if it would leave the rear guard, it comes back. The only thing that works against it is log, because it's not leaving the rear guard, it's changing states.
Mm-hmm.
Fun rulings. Anyway, moving on. We got another grade 2 drum. Blue Sky Knight Drum Bunker Dragon. Its call cost is pay 1 gauge and put either the top card of your deck or a card from your drop into this card's buddy soul. So the whole thing about decking out fast, you can kind of mitigate that by constantly picking cards from your drop. But if you really need a card from top deck for some fucking reason, you're going to go through a deck. Anywho, this card's gimmicks. Auto, if your Vanguard is Might Sun Fight Gao Mikado, this cost is reduced by Counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rearguard, Counterblast 1, draw a card. So it's basically letting you potentially play this early game to draw, but if you're on grade 3, it's like place, draw, go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
you're fine.
That has very interesting implications. And then auto rearguard, once per turn when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, either soul charge 1 or put the top card of your deck face down as a gauge. Oh, so this gives you more costs to do more things.
Mm-hmm. There was always cards
That's
like
kind of cool.
Yeah, because there is no card and there is no cards in Vanguard where it says, "Hey, you get more CB and you just counter charge." You know that technically gives you more.
There literally is.
It gives you more.
The
CB.
OG damage than the OG damage ones. Remember, you took a damage, and at the end of the turn, you put that damage away.
Technically, yeah, that was meant for the limit break era and whatnot, and to make sure you got to limit break 4.
Yeah, they were literally. What do they even call? What was the thing called? Damage something.
Damage? No,
I forgot. There was a terminology. It's been a hot minute, man. Nobody's used them for years.
Did anybody actually use
People
those?
use those. No, they made a resurgence with whenever a Primordial Dragon for Sokea came out. Because what you would do is you just take all the damage using them and then take another damage and then you'd lose the game and you'd basically heal down to like 2 or 3 or some stupid combo like that.
I never had to face against that.
It's premium. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah,
Self-damagers. That's right. Regardless, talking about this card specifically, it's nice. I can just realize, like the original Drum Bunker Dragon, right? If you have the Vanguard, you Soul Blast 1, you call it for free, and then its gauge ability is free, and then you use its gauge ability for free. You put this on top. You put it underneath it, so now you have a 15k, and then you draw a card. So basically, for Soul Blast 1, you make a 15k body on the board, and you draw a card. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. That has to be during attack, yeah.
Has to be what now?
This one has to be during attack, so when it call, yeah, but in order to get for the second one, when it attacks.
Oh yeah, to get an extra gauge is on attack, but just main phase, it's like, okay, Vanguard's ability, Soul Blast 1, called the Drum Bunker Dragon. The Drum Bunker Dragon is free. Call this, gauge Drum Bunker underneath it. This got called. My Vanguard's the grade 3. Draw a card. Am I losing you somewhere?
I'm looking at something that I'm checking. Okay, yeah, so.
And then
I'm checking
Soul or Gauge, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I was checking how much cards you're losing from your deck. So this is
anyway.
This is a very
Drum Dragon, but this one is not a Drum Bunker Dragon. So what do we got?
This is Ultimate Neo Dragon, Drum the Future. That the one? Yes, that's the one. Yeah, this one is not a grade 2. This is a grade 3, actually.
Yep.
And this one's the call cost is pay 2 gauge. Just straight up pay 2 gauge. That's it. And then continuous rearguard. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit just gets 10k right off the bat. So it's 20k, 3 attacker on its own. 28k technically, 5k, whatever. And then the auto rearguard, once per turn. When this unit becomes in the link attack state, If either you have 4 or more cards in your damage zone, or you Persona Red this turn, it gets another ability, Auto Rear Guard, once per turn. When this unit attacks, your opponent cannot activate auto abilities of their cards until the end of the battle. Cost CB1, and until the end of the battle, this unit performs drive checks and gets minus drive 1 until the end of turn. If you're curious, basically it just says turns off your perfect guards.
This even turns off Blitz Orders. This even turns off Sanctitude. brother man, what? Wait, what? When it becomes link stack, if you have 4 more cards in your damage zone, so it's Limit Break 4.
Yeah, Limit Break 4 or Persona Road.
Or Persona Road.
Your opponent cannot activate the auto abilities of their cards at the end of that battle. So listen, you're going to be using your perfect guards for the Vanguard, and either...
Hey, Sanctitude not an auto. I thought Sanctitude was an auto. Oh no, Sanctitude is a Blitz Order effect. That's right. Never mind. Sanctitude still works. Thank fuck.
So Blitz Order effects are still good then?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They're order effects. They're not auto effects.
Okay, so it's either hard guarding this bitch or, use some kind of Blitz Order to hard guard it, essentially. But it's a 23k, 25k, not even including whatever else that... effect heals are also shut off. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it stands and it gains the crit. So it's like pick your poison.
Yeah. So
anywho, I do have. I think I have a very
this one does
question,
not
right?
have. Notice this one does not have the Soul Guard.
Yeah.
So once this one goes away, that's it.
I have a very obvious question.
Mm-hmm.
All of these have a call cost to pay a certain amount of gauge, right?
Yes.
So because it's a call cost, it doesn't matter normal call or superior call. If you want to call it, you have to pay a certain amount of gauge. Otherwise, I'm assuming you're not going to be able to call it, period.
The call cost is only for normal call. Superior call,
is it? I'm trying to find usually they drop like rules and Q&As whenever they introduce these whole fucking new mechanics, and I'm not finding it on the Discord anywhere. So I'm like, I'm making assumptions here.
No, because it would follow the same rules of like most things. The call cost is like to call it normally, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have a level 7 monster, you have to tribute to and to normal summon it, but if you special summon it,
See, the reason I'm asking if call cost counts only normal calls or it counts superior calls is because of it's because of not only the Vanguard's ability, but also the original drum bunker, because it says pay 1 gauge, search a deck or drop for a drum in a different card name from this unit, call it on top of this unit, right? So even though you're using a superior call with drum bunker, or even using a superior call with the Vanguard's ability, does that mean you still have to pay the gauges to call the units?
I might be wrong.
Because that's the case. I think that's the case. I think that, like I said, there's no fucking Q&A. Usually there's a Q&A. Where's a Q&A, Bushy? Anywho, in that case, it's might be really hard. Okay. Before we continue on, my brain needs to brain this, right? You get 2 gauges just by doing the crest, if I remember correctly. When you do the flag, you put 2 cards of your deck face down as gauges, and then the flag was the flag. What was it? When this card is put in crest zone, or at the beginning of your arrive phase, put a card from your hand phase. Okay, so when it goes to crest or beginning of arrive phase, you put a card from hand and draw a card, right? So what was when you ride?
So when you come grade 1, you get 2 right off the bat. When you go into grade 2, you get another one. So it'll be 3.
No. When you ride, so first thing is when you ride, you put this in the crest zone. and you take 2 cards and put them as gauge, but then it also says when this card is put into the crest zone, you put a card from hand and draw. So riding gives you 3 right away. And then going to grade, so that's going to grade 1. Going to grade 2, you get a 4th one. Going to grade 3, you get a 5th one. So by the time you're grade 3, you have 5. Oh, that's what was happening. That's fun.
For some reason, it wants to keep connecting. I don't know why. I'm about to turn off.
Turn off your Wi-Fi on the phone that you're using in your hand. That'll help.
Haha, there we go. All right. Auto ride deck. When you ride, cost, put a flag from your soul into your order zone. Put this card in the crest and put the top 2. And then when this card is put to the crest, yeah, so you get 3. So that by the time you get to grade 3, you would be at 5. You're correct.
Yeah. So you have 5, right? And there's probably more cards that give gauge, but at this current moment, we only know about a grade 2 that on attack gives a gauge, but only has to attack a grade 3, which means on turn 4 or turn 3 if you're going second. So you really only have 5 on turn 3. Then you use 1 gauge to Soul Blast 1 search deck for up to 1 drum, call it. Wait, I thought this one cost gauge. So yeah, Soul Blast 1 for the grade 3's ability to search for a drum and call it, and its gauge is reduced by 1, but you still need 1 gauge to even call that card. And then Drum's ability is free, which means you're not using gauge, so you have an extra gauge to call whatever you want. So essentially, on turn
not really,
3,
not really, because the arm card is also a gauge.
Oh yeah, true. So let's say you armed, right? Wait, where's the fucking arm card? There it is. Yeah, play this. Actually, no, maybe not. Wait a minute. Look at search your deck. Arm it to this unit without paying the cost and shuffle your deck. So you can arm the card. So you still have 5. But if you want to arm it differently, you're going to have to pay a gauge. Yeah. So let's say you armed it. You have 5. Soul Blast 1. Gauge 1. So you can call Bunker. And then you pay. And then he's free to call something else. And those cards cost a gauge, so you have 3. So you have 3 gauge left for any other abilities. So if you want to call another buddy, you pay 1. I think the gauge situation should be fine. I think if you play smart, I think the gauge situation should be fine. I don't see this going past turn 5 or 6 though, but still.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you're quickly gonna run out of gauge.
Yeah. Anywho, moving on. Let's now actually continue with another. How many fucking grade 2s are there? 5th Omni Dragon Lord Drum. Its call cost is pay 1 gauge and put either the top card of your deck or a card from your drop into this card's buddy soul. So it's 1 soul. Auto rearguard once per turn. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, pay 1 gauge. Choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets 10k until the end of turn. Auto front row rear guard once per turn. When a card is revealed from your damage. When a card is revealed for your damage check, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Gao in its card name and you do not have another rear guard with the same card name as this unit, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. Hi. Hold up. So it's like, yes, please give me a damage. By the way, discard a card. Excuse you? What the fuck?
Yeah, you wanted interaction. You wanted interactions on your opponent's turn. There's one of them right there.
Man, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Because I recently played it, fucking Absolute Zero. Oh, you want to attack? Well, you're going to have to discard a card from hand.
Yeah, if you want to attack more than 3 times, discard.
Yeah, and of course this card has, Soul Guard and all that. Jesus Christ. I feel like the people in Bushy, who make card designs, have so many crazy ideas they can't put in actual decks because either they don't fit the theme or they'd be stupid. And then when a collab set like this comes out, they go, release, open the floodgates, all the fucking creativity, go. The hell?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to remind myself, there is the buddy call effect that's once per fight. If you have a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is great, you're going to choose a buddy monster from your orders on call at the rear guard and countercharge one. So basically, pay 1 gauge, countercharge, and get your buddy that can get other stuff. That's kind of neat. Anywho, actually, you want to actually talk about the only grade 1 we've currently seen outside the ride line?
So, go figure. It's another Drum Bunker Dragon. It's called Drum Bunker Dragon SD. For what that means. Like you mentioned, it is the only grade 1, and it's auto drop. When you rear guard with Drum and the specific card name from this unit's player's cost, so bless 1 and perform one of the following. Put this card into that unit's buddy soul, or call this card up to rear guard the same column as that placed unit. So A, more soul, or B, more booster. More attack power.
Ooh, I see why that other card now soul charges 1.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that's actually decent. And but it only works for things that have a buddy soul. Like the grade 3 we talked about does not have a buddy soul, so it's like pointless to put it there.
Or you technically can put it into the buddy soul. It's just it has no soul guard, so it's just doing nothing.
Okay, yeah, that is actually true. Anywho, I think that grade 1 was very simple and straightforward. Good luck having any boosters in this deck, it seems. But we are going to move on to some other cards in this set, specifically a normal order spell. Now, I want to remind you, the ride line searches for items and drums. Most of your fucking deck is going to be drums, and you only have 3 or 4 items, depending on which skill you use. Which means this normal order spell is not something you can search, but let's see what it does. It's a grade 1 that says this card can be played from drop. And play this if you have a Vanguard Gao in its card name, or a rear guard with 5th Omni in its card name. Bind this card, put the top card of your deck face down as a gauge, and draw a card. More gauge.
There's more gauge. Yeah, more gauge that you needed. Which is only works specifically with 1 drum, though.
Yeah, but if you're in the Gao deck, you're not worried. But if you have the 5th Omni, it's like, yeah. So it's not too shabby.
Yeah, totally skipped over the if you have Vanguard with Gao. Oopsie.
Anywho, I really like it because you play 4 of it, you have your ditch fodder, and then it's just like bind, gauge, draw. If it wasn't a normal order, you keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's basically like you're the beginning of your ride phase all over again.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's basically a weird form of cycles that we have, like the soul and the energy cycles, because those are like ditch, soul blast 1, put the bottom, draw, or ditch, energy blast 3, draw. This one's like ditch, main phase, play, gauge, draw.
You're not wrong. It actually is.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And it's a grade 1, so you can do it right off the bat, too.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for that. Moving on. As per usual, because this is a whole new nation, it has to have some staple cards.
The new staple card is a PG, Thunder Knight's Halberd Dragon. This brings back some memories. The art looks so fucking cool. And it has a normal, continuous, sentinel, blah, blah, blah. And then, obviously, the auto, when this unit put it to guard circle, choose one of your units cannot be hit to the end battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it.
The good PGs.
Yeah, the good PGs. So, normal PG stuff.
Anyway,
and then
moving on.
We get into the good stuff.
Exactly. It's like we had the normal order spell, we had the normal order item. Now we have Blue Dragon Shield, the Blitz order spell. This one says continuous sentinel You may only have up to 4 cards with continuous Sentinel in your deck. So keep in mind when deck building. Play this with cause, discard a card from hand. Choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of battle. If you have no face-up cards in your damage zone, counter charge run, remove this card. So I'm going to say this one thing and then you can continue. Who needs 1 Sanctitude when you can have 4? Who's afraid of 100? Who's afraid of infinite power when you can have 4?
When you could just have 4. You know, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad that you can't play this in Dragon Empire.
Oh, I got one more. Who's afraid of a grade 3 rearguard with drive checks that turns off auto abilities when you can have 4?
You can have 4 blue dragon shields, but you could only play 1 per turn because it's a blitz order.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like a double-edged sword.
I remember people used to mix and match with the blue and the greens, which we're going to see later on, to figure out which one they like more.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to move on to the triggers now. And Hector, I want you to explain to us why the triggers for Buddy Fight are something special.
Let me read first because I haven't looked at it in a while. It's special because, 1, they have no fucking power.
Yeah, there's a reason they have no fucking power.
Because it's technically an order. It's a trigger order.
It's a trigger order.
It is a trigger order, specifically a Buddy Fight trigger order / spell. So the whole thing is, what's the name? Drago Energy. Use it when your monster is attacked. It is considered just critical trigger. And then the order ability, choose one of your armor dragons and it gets power plus 3k until the end of turn. And then the other ability, continuous, during the guard step of your opponent's card, this card can be called a trigger unit and it gets plus 5k, plus 15k shield guardian and grade 0.
So basically, they basically make crit triggers that you can't use as boosters. But hey, if you want to make it 3k bigger, you can.
Exactly. And
now,
yeah.
Yes,
I will say, like, they also showed the other things that were also the normal ones.
Oh yeah. Before they show the normal ones, we have the other triggers, and all of them have different effects. So what you read is a crit trigger. Then we have another crit trigger. That's all of them are order spells, by the way. And this one has the order ability of pay 1 gauge, choose one of your grade 2 or less rearguards, and put this card into that unit's buddy soul. And all these triggers are going to have the other ability of continuous guard step. They basically become 15k guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this crit triggers, by the way, is Dragon Trust. Trust me, this is something else.
It's a jackknife.
All right.
And then we go into the draw trigger for this one. It's called Dragonic Grimoire. So this one's order ability is play this if you have 4 more cards in your damage zone, so aka Limb Break, with cost CB1, and discard all cards from your hand, can be 0 if you have no other cards, and draw 2 cards.
What the fuck?
And then the other ability of this during the guard set, rather than the 15, because it is the draw trigger, it does only get 5k shield.
Motherfucker, this is like, yeah, this is literally Cannibals 1 pot of greed. It's like, discard all cards from. It's like, okay, I used all my hand to guard your stupid turn. Draw. Fuck, it's a draw trigger. Wait a minute. Counterblast 1. Draw 2.
Pot of Greed. I play my Pot of Greed to play 2 more Pot of Greeds.
God fucking damn it. If I ever see someone actually use this effect, I'm gonna be shocked.
Wait. This is considered a trigger order, right?
This is considered a trigger order. It is still an order, which means you can only play one order per turn.
Oh. I was gonna say,
No.
Pot of Greed, what's it called? Radiant's Caliber, draw 2 cards. Play my other Pot of Greed, draw 2 more cards. Sad.
No. Okay, while it is technically Pot of Greed, it does say discard all cards in your hand.
Listen, what's it called? Judge Absolute Zero would love this.
Maybe depending on the cards you have in hand. I will say, whenever you were reading this ability and it said discard all cards in your hand, the only thing going through my mind was and draw plus one equal to and plus one of the cards you discard. It's like, oh, okay, so it's like a big ass fucking filter. No, just draw 2. Okay, what the anyway. We're gonna move on to the front trigger, Dragon Barrier. Order ability is put this card face down as a gauge. Simple, straightforward. 15k shield as well. This is probably the freest shit ever.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I need some gauge. Play down. We're good to go. I need some more.
Yeah. And then the actor take care of the last special one, I guess.
The last one is the OG Green Dragon Shield. It's a heal trigger, and this one does not have a specific order ability, but it does have another ability. It has the normal trigger of 15k shield, whatever, but it has another ability. When this card is put into the Guardian Circle, if you have no face-up cards and your damage zone cost, discard a card from your hand and countercharge 1.
This is kind of honestly cool. Depending on your hand size and your board states, like guard, ditch, countercharge, I'm set for next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
but
because this is a whole new nation, and because apparently they've become such staples, instead of waiting for Volume 2, Set 2 of Buddy Fight, they decided, you know what? We're going to be very generous, and we're going to give you the effect triggers that everybody else has. Wait, what? The trigger orders? How are we going to do this? Oh, okay, this way. Buddy Charge. The front trigger that does not have an order ability is just a trigger order that says continuous during your guard step, your opponent's turn. Call this card trigger unit, becomes a grade 0 15k shield guardian, and it gets auto when this unit is retired from Guardian Circle. You may put this card into... Oh, never mind. I thought that was going to be different. I misread this. Now, these are just more triggers that have different abilities. This is when retired, put this into your... No, it is the thing we have. I'm an idiot. I keep contradicting myself even though I'm right.
It's not the first
it's the soul
draw.
Front.
Yeah, it's a soul front. It's not the first where it's a 20k shield. Yeah, it's soul front. Which we'll talk about that later. Anyways, the second one, it is the draw one, which his name is Buddy Help. So again, no order ability, but the other one is the Guardian said it's only 5k shield, but the other one is continuous. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this unit gets an extra 5k shield, so it becomes a 10k draw trigger. So we all know and love.
Yeah, so it's the thing. It's a special trigger. Yeah. So like, and then we move to the other front trigger that I mistook it as the before one, which damage control. During your guard step becomes a trigger. Zero shield, 15 power, and gets continuous your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater. This unit gets shield 5k. So it's the 20k fronts.
I love how its name is damage control.
It really is.
And then on to the next one. This is the special crit, which this one does have an order ability, actually.
Yes.
So the order ability is choose one of your rear guards and put this card into that unit's buddy soul. And then it has other ability. Continuous. If this card is on the rear guard's buddy soul, that unit gets continuous soul guard. Basically, it gives something that does not have soul guard. Which,
correct.
If you think about it, the grade 3 that does not have soul guard.
Which is kind of busted.
Yeah. And has the normal 15k shield trigger, everything else. And then read the OT.
Future Card Buddy Fight is the name of the OT. It's an overtrigger. It's a trigger unit. It has half power. It's not a trigger order like Shaman King, even though everything else probably suspected it to be. Yada, yada, yada. Additional effect. Choose a normal order from your drop, put it into your hand, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets critical +1 until the end of turn. Choose a buddy monster from your rear guard, and it gets critical +1 until the end of turn. So it's 100 million, make 2 things double crit, and put a normal order into your hand. And let's be honest here, the normal order that you're more likely putting into your hand is going to be Sunfist Sunshine Impact.
Mm-hmm. Well, that or also something else.
I mean, the only other normal order that we have at all read is the Knowledge of the Fifth Omen, or Omni.
Next card.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Just
So
read the next card then.
The next card, it's a grade 3 normal order / impact order. Not impact order, just impact. Gargantua Punisher. Continuous. You cannot play this card, and you use the ability of this, this ability if you have not resolved the ability of your impact order this fight. Does not count towards a 1 order per turn. Auto hand. At the end of your turn, if your opponent's damage zone has 4 more cards and you persona ride this turn, cost CB1. This card, pay 4 gauge and say final phase. Choose one of your Vanguards, stand it, and it attacks your opponent's Vanguard. Until the end of turn, effects are also maintained during this extra attack. Remember what I was talking about at the final turn impact? This is what I was talking about.
Hold up. I'm scrolling back up because I need one word to appear in one effect. Thank the fucking Lord.
What?
Sunshine Impact is when a Vanguard attacks, discard a Sunshine Impact. Increase, decrease to infinity until the end of battle.
Yes. But everything else...
Thank the fucking Lord.
Yeah, but everything else is still technically viable. So if you hit triggers, it's still technically there.
Yeah. Still though, holy shit. 4 gauge for a restand?
If I'm not mistaken... Because the Vanguard attacks, you still get Twin Drive, no?
Yeah, because it doesn't reduce it doesn't reduce any drive checks. The Vanguard doesn't reduce any drive checks on its own. You do still get Twin Drive. I'm checking one more important thing that I'm pretty sure it isn't. Okay, cool. And all the Vanguard's abilities are also once per turn. Therefore, you can't do the whole link thing again.
The link attack, yeah, no.
So it's basically just resend the Vanguard, get Twin Drive again, which granted 4 gauge for basically a Varga effect is not bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when your Vanguard has nothing, probably not as, but you hit 2 triggers and power, persona ride, which like it has a lot of restrictions on it. You need to, you need to have B4 more. You got to have persona ride, and you got to be able to pay 4 gauge. Like, there's heavy restrictions.
Like, this is a hand ability, so you don't even know if your opponent has this in your hand or not. So imagine you're fighting as this, and you're like, swing a Vanguard. Okay, you didn't activate the... wait, at the end of your... Oh, this isn't... Wait, hold the fuck. Wait a minute, this is at the end of your turn?
Yeah, this is at the end of your turn.
Fuck this shit. Anywho, what was I saying?
Okay, listen. Let's say your opponent doesn't have it, depending. So you have to be a constant watch. How much gauge do they have? And you have to say, okay, they have 4 gauge. Do they have more than 4 gauge? Do they or do they not have this card in hand?
Not to mention, imagine, you're doing a 4 attack turn, right? Imagine you see your opponent use a perfect guard and you're going, yes, 4 gauge, sun, infinity, critical.
Like, imagine the moments where it's like you rip your OT on your opponent. It's like, oh, I still have enough guard, just enough guard to block everything. Oh, wait, he's going to add an order. Oh, wait, he's got 4 gauge. Oh, wait, he's got CB open.
Oh, this is something else. This is something else. Anywho, moving on. Skip the promo magazine thing. We're going to move on straight
you don't want to talk
into-
about Dino Dragons?
It shows up again. That's why I'm skipping it.
Oh, okay.
There's more Buddy Fire cards that weren't part of the stream that started getting leaked throughout the cards of the day, which the next one we got is 1000 Ripper Dragon. It's a grade 1. Finally, some grade 1s that potentially might see play in the back row. It says auto rearguard when this unit attacks. Never mind, it's when it attacks. Counter +1, and this unit gets critical +1 until the end of that. Why would Buddy Fight have... No, actually, that makes sense. You know what? This makes sense why Buddy Fight doesn't have a back row, because like you mentioned, it had 3 things in the front.
Yeah. Like,
So
they
just
did,
wants to have front row.
yeah, like they didn't have a back row. It was only like you were the back row.
So
Which
I
you
guess
could
on
step
theme,
up
it kind
to
of makes
5.
sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then
Still, though. And then before we read the big guy, because he's here, there's one more grade 0 Buddy Fight card.
Oh yeah, it's grade 0, 6K Boomerang Dragon. Auto rearguard at the end of the battle. This unit attacked or boost. If you have Vanguard with Gal's card name, return it to your hand. Go figure. The name is Boomerang.
Exactly. Actually, there's more Battlefield cards. Just scrolling a little bit forward to kind of see if we need to cover those now or later. We'll cover them now. Because, again, skip the guy. He shows up again later.
We're probably also going to talk about like the English presentation, not the English presentation.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That's at the end. That's at the end, man. First, we got to move on to a whole nother Buddy Fight deck.
Specifically, one of the OGs again. The Blaster Blade to the Dragonic Overlord to the Blaster Blade.
Which, funny enough, the color scheme's changed.
Yeah.
So we got the starter stays the same. It's the flag. So you're doing all the same things. But the grade 1 changes into Buddy Police Boy Tasuku Ryuenji. He's only got 1 ability, unlike his counterpart. Auto when this unit is placed on by riding from Dragon World. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Jackknife and its card name from among them. Really put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. No special arms for this man.
Not yet.
Not yet. What's
Not
the grade
yet.
2 do?
So the grade 2 is named Genius Buddy Fighter Tasuku Ryuenji. Auto, when this unit is rode upon by grade 3 with Tasuku, aka the same one, cost Soul Blast 1, choose 1 card with Jackknife in its card name from your drop and put it into your hand. So add more Jackknives.
Yeah, I like the fact that Soul Blast 1 and then add from drop, which means it's basically did something, get it back. It's kind of nice.
Or,
All right, now let's... Yeah?
call a Jackknife to the rear guard, attack, intercept, goes away, whatever.
Exactly. And now, let's see what the actual thing does with Future Force Possessor Tasuku Ryuenji. Continuous Vanguard, all of your rearguards with Jackknife in their card name get power 5k, also active during your opponent's turn, which, alright, cool, mini Persona Ride. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, if it is the first battle of this turn, if it's the first battle, this unit performs this. Wait, hold up, 1 sec. Reading. When this unit attacks, if it is the first battle this unit performed this turn, so you're gonna do more, I guess, can cost Counterblast 1, Choose one of your rearguard's jackknife in its card name and stand it. So counter +1 stand. Wait, what? Oh, shit.
Choose one of your rearguards.
No. Because it says first battle that this unit did, it's not actually the first battle of the turn. It's the first battle that this unit did. So it can be the 5th battle. And it's, yeah, whatever. So it's counter +1 stand a unit. And then Jackknife Braveheart, act Vanguard once per turn, cost pay 1 gauge, search your deck or drop for up to 1 unit with Jackknife in its card name, and either put it into your hand or call it to rearguard without paying its call cost. See, this one says without paying its call cost. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So it's basically get yourself the thingy, or get yourself a jackknife. It can be any jackknife.
Mm-hmm. So even superior calls, you do have to still use the call cost, which you got to be careful with gauge.
Yeah, exactly. Which the previous one, Gal, we read, like you can superior call the drummer, but you still have to pay the call cost. At least you don't pay the effect cost that's also costs a gauge when you do it this way. Where this one, though, you call a jackknife, but you don't have to pay its call cost at all, which means if there is a jackknife that costs 2 gauge, boop, hello. I'm also predicting something that I had no idea of. Anywho, let's start off with the simplest jackknife.
So the simplest jackknife is just Jackknife Dragon. It is a grade 2 OG Jackknife Dragon. Call cost, pay 1 gauge. Simple. And then act rearguard cost, pay 1 gauge. Search a deck or drop up to 1 unit card with Jackknife in its card name. Call it on top of this unit without paying the call cost. And then put this unit into that buddy's soul. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So essentially, it's pay 2 gauge to get another unit.
Wait. Call it on top of this unit without paying its call cost. Make it this unit and its buddy soul become that card's buddy soul. Wait, does this count for this? No. Okay, so we talked about drummer doing the same thing, but we talked about how it goes to draw because it gets this call go over. This is implying that when you call it over, it becomes the buddy soul.
Yes.
Make this unit and its buddy soul become that card's. So does it work for drummer as well? Like when drummer gets a thing, it becomes a buddy soul. So basically anything the drummer gets already gets like two soul.
Let me see this.
This is why I'm like, where the fuck is the Q&A? Because when we were reading drummer.
Because search a deck or drop up to 1 unit card with drum and its different card name from this unit. Call it on top of this unit. If you search deck, shuffle deck.
It just says call it on top of this unit. So it's either a translation error or it's call on top so the unit below gets retired. But then Jackknife right here has apparently a reminder text for somewhere that's like, oh, you become the soul. So, all right, why, how? It says call on top, not become the... What the fuck? I swear to God, I don't know. Until I see a proper Q&A of how this shit works, I'm going to go off the assumption that this is Schrodinger's buddy fight. Both work. You keep it a soul and you put it to drop. Both work. Fuck it, why not? Anywho, move on. Jackknife Dragon Baby. Apparently, it's a grade 1. Auto drop when your rearguard with Jackknife in its card name in its different card name from this card is placed. Soul +1, call this card to rearguard in the same column as that placed unit. So hey, boosters.
Yes, we have boosters. Well, Jackknife has boosters. This is something they don't wait to the later on. They give it to you right off the bat.
Yep. All right, move on.
So the next Jackknife we have, so another grade 2, is Jackknife Thunderstorm. Call cost, pay 1 gauge and put this card on top of a unit with Jackknife in its card name. Put that unit and its buddy soul into this card's buddy soul. Okay, so I think the way that works, anytime you call over something, specifically over effect, it whatever is underneath becomes its buddy soul.
No, it's different. It's 100% different because this one specifically in the cost says pay 1 gauge and put this card on top of a unit. The drums were just call this and then either top deck or drop and make it a soul. This one specifically says put it on top of a unit that already exists.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's either different and Jackknife's the only one that can do this, or there's a translation error somewhere and my mind's going fucking miles an hour.
It's been so long since we, like, either of us have actually did anything with Buddy for that. I can't remember either.
Anywho, continue the card, please.
Anyway, yeah. So whatever the whole thing, and then its ability: act rear guard once per turn, cost pay 1 gauge. Choose one of your opponent's front rear guards and retire it. If your Vanguard is armed with a card Gold Ritter in its card name, this unit gets 10k to the end of turn, and it also has Soul Guard.
Right. All right. So I believe that Jackknife is, because of the call cards that we're seeing and some of the call cards we're going to be seeing later, is definitely, okay, call over. It's basically Jewel Knights, but they don't go away. It's overdress. I think like Jackknife is overdress, while Drum is Jewel Knights. They will get retired, but you got different ways to put them back. So it's. I don't think it's a real misunderstanding. I think it's just Drum is this way, Jackknife, which also, to piggyback, makes sense why Baby is the type of effect that it is, which means you can either have a booster or it's Soul Blast 1, put this on board. Now I can use my Jackknives and put them on top of this thing, because otherwise I have to waste another card in hand to put something on top so I can do, because like this Jackknife, put this unit with Jackknife in its card name. You have to put it on top of something. The Baby.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
Baby
my brain
Jackknife.
my brain was going so far ahead in this that I completely didn't even understand what this even does. Front row, retire, armed with a card, Gold Ritter.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is an arm card.
Yeah, there is an arm card. Trust me. And
Cool.
it gets 10k.
Until we get to the arm card, we got to talk about Jackknife Dispersal. Its call cost is pay 1 gauge and put this card on top of a unit with Jackknife in its card name. So basically, continuing to upgrade. You either go onto the Baby or a different Jackknife that's on the board already, so you gain just a shit ton of Soul Guard, which apparently was the gimmick of Jackknife. Continuous: when this unit Buddy Soul has a card with Jackknife in its card name, this unit gets power 5k active during your opponent's turn. Does not stack. It's a continuous ability. Auto: when this unit stands by the ability of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Tasuku in its card name, this unit gets critical +1 until the end of turn. If your Vanguard is armed with a card with Gold Ritter in its card name, then this unit also gets power 5k until the end of turn, basically making it a 20k double critical attacker when it stands. And then, of course, it has Soul Guard.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's going to get interesting.
Another Jackknife. Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
Jackknife, Burn Energy. This one is call cost, I don't know, gauge. Literally just put this card on top of a Jackknife specifically. Ah, nice. When this unit is placed on rearguard, cost CB1, draw a card, put the top card of your deck face down as a gauge, choose a card from your drop and put it face down. Oh, wow, 2 gauges right off the bat. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Tasuku in its card name, this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. You need to pay the CB1 to get the 5k. So this right here, and it has Soul Guard. So this right here is just your gauger on a monster.
I feel like this is the thing, you go early and just shit ton of gauge, and then you ride other Jackknives on top of this, so they get a shit ton of gauge and do their shit, their things.
Mm-hmm. So call one for free, call this. You have another one in your hand, call it over. So you just build up gauge and then build up soul. You're really
I
hoping
wonder why you would need so much Soul Guard. I wonder. Jackknife Gold Ritter. So this is the normal order item that the other jackknives work off of. It's a grade 3, and you can only arm it to a grade 3 or greater unit with Tasuku in its card name. It cannot be played act hand if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Tasuku in its card name and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Retire one of your rear guards with Jackknife in its card name that has 2 or more Buddy Soul and arm this card to your Vanguard. Continuous Vanguard. Your Vanguard cannot be chosen by opponent's card effects. Its original power becomes 20k and it gets triple drive. Auto Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit, this card is armed to attacked. If the attack is the first battle that unit performed this turn, stand that unit and increase or decrease its drives to 0 until the end of turn. So it's a freestanding Vanguard that goes to 0. It's a fucking gallop.
Your English there was throwing me way off.
You read that last sentence.
At the end of the battle, the unit this card is armed to attacked. If that attack is the first battle that unit performed this turn, stand that unit and increase or decrease its drive to 0 to the end of the turn. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it almost messed me up there.
I know, right? It's English that you're not expecting. It's Vanguard English that you never see or expect. So it just throws you fucking off. Anywho, the card itself. Also, I'm just gonna read something where this card would leave rear guard. Put the card. Oh, Hector, you want to hear a funny about this arm?
What?
In order to arm it, you have to retire one of your rear guards with Jackknife in its card name as 2 or more Buddy Soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way Soul Guard works, it says if this card would leave rear guard, put a card from this unit's Buddy Soul into drop and make this stay on rear guard. Therefore, the card never got retired. Therefore, you never fulfill the cost. So you actually have to let it die, let it get retired, in order to be able to arm it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to remove one Buddy Soul and arm it. You have to actually retire it. Make sense?
It does make sense, but the part of me where it's, you do the muchest skill possible wants to show up.
Yeah, no. But that's the thing. This is not the skill. This is the cost. You have to do every single thing about the cost or it doesn't work.
Retire when
you do as much of the skill as possible. You have to do all of the cost.
No, that is true.
And if you can't retire, you didn't pay the cost. Which kind of makes sense why this shit wants to do this many gauges. It's like, okay, doink. Also makes sense why the baby is a soul blast won't come back, so you can have something.
Yes. I mean, this is one of those where the moment this is one of those where you probably want to call your buddy call as soon as possible to bring it back.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about how this is just a fucking Nutter Majesty Lord?
Is it 20k right off the bat and triple drive?
To be fair, you're only getting this turn 3 if you're going second, turn 4 if you're going first. So it kind of balances out in a sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like.
Plus, you have to be,
bullshit.
Yeah, you have to be able to see it too.
Yeah, and currently, unlike the other deck that searches for items on the ride up, this one does not search items. Mm-hmm. This one is a hard draw, find the thing.
And if for some unlucky reason you don't have a jackknife, or you can only get a jackknife with 2 soul to be able to pay for this cost, and you don't have any more jackknives, so for some reason, you're shit out of luck.
Yup. Anyway, Hector, what do we have next?
So the next is a normal order. It's actually a grade 2 order. That's nice. Jackknife Gift. So play this if you have a Vanguard with Tasuku in his card name. Perform one of the following. Choose a unit card with Jackknife in his card name from your drop. Put it into the Buddy Soul of your rear guards with Jackknife in his card name. If you put Well, shit. Okay. If you put search your deck or drop for up to one Jackknife Gold Ritter, reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. A last ability. If your Vanguard is armed with Jackknife Gold Ritter, drag a card and put this card as face down gauge. What would everything we just said went out the fucking window?
100%. It's like, okay, let's say you probably won't because of space. Let's say you're running 4 of the Gold Ritter and 4 of this, right? It's like, oh, I have 8 copies of Gold Ritter now. I already have Gold Ritter. Cool. Ditch fodder. Oh, I already have Gold Ritter and I have this card in hand. Cool. Gauge draw.
Oh, so the way I could see like 2 of Gold Ritter and then 4 of this.
Yes, I can see that as well. Because this thing does say from choose a card with Jackknife from drop, search your deck or drop for Gold Ritter. So even if your deck doesn't have any more Gold Ritters, as long as it didn't hit damage, you're fine.
Yeah, so if you're really fucking unlucky and there's 2 in your damage zone, yeah, that's just GG's, my guy.
All right, so we had the stupidity of end of turn, restand attack again. Let's see what Jackknife got. Dragonic Punisher. It's a normal order impact. Continuous, you cannot play this card and you use this ability if you have not resolved the ability of an impact order this fight. Auto hand at the end of your turn. If you have a rear guard with Jackknife in its card name, counter +1, discard this card, pay 2 gauge, and say final phase. Choose one of your rear guards, Jackknife in its card name, stand it, and attacks your opponent's Vanguard. So it's basically the same thing as the other one, but instead of being a twin driving Vanguard for 4 gauge, it's a potentially double critical rear guard. Yeah, that's it. Just potentially a double critical rear guard.
Which makes this much more of a viable to see it more often.
Yeah.
Also,
okay.
One of the things I point out. So the grade 1,
baby,
and the grade 2 both say choose a 1 card with Jackknife in its name and put it into your hand when you search from deck or from drop. So
shit. Yeah, the orders have Jackknife in their card names, don't they?
Yeah, the card is specifically Jackknife Gold Ritter, so it is searchable.
So you might not even have to play that many of the grade 2. Maybe you can run like a 2-2 split.
Yeah, 2-2 split would work just enough. If you don't find it one way or another, you got to find it.
Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Hector, we got more grade 1s for Buddy Fight that are kind of generic.
Oh yeah,
not really. I just read the effect.
So the name is Circle Knife Dragon. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like the way it looks. It's a grade 1. Act to rigor cost. Retire this unit. Choose a unit card from your drop with Jackknife in this card name and put it into your hand. Hey, look, bring back Jackknife.
The little distinction we just made.
Yeah. No, not bad.
Not bad. I'm scrolling past the stream to the next Buddy Fight card. That's Jackknife Berserker. That looks... like nothing. It's literally vanilla.
The fact that it's not even... It's only a literally vanilla. Its power is 10k. Its critical is 1.
I was expecting it the critical to be 2 or something. No, it's literally just a vanilla.
No, it's just vanilla. It's just kind of sad, actually.
Anyway, Hector, you want to read a whole new Ryland that's not Buddy Fight?
Wait. There's still one more Buddy Fight card that was...
where?
All the way down.
I have to scroll down, probably.
It's a grade 1.
Dragobond. You mean that?
Yeah.
What did it do?
So Dragobond, it's a blitz order. It's a grade 1 blitz order specifically. Choose one of the following. Choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets power 20k. It's at the end of the battle. Nice. And the other one, choose one of your rear guards, and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If you have no face-up damage cards in your damage zone, countercharge 1.
So another fucking perfect card. For rear guards.
For rear guards, and they counter charges. So it protects rear guards, but also 20k. It's a grade 1, so it's just instant 20k shield.
It's kind of nice. Space, though.
Yeah, space.
All right, so that was all the buddy fight cards. I don't know if that was the whole set.
Oh,
but
no.
if it was, it's basically 2 decks.
That's 2 decks. We still have 4 more worlds, clans to go over.
Me. Well, before we go through more buddy fight later down the road, we got to talk about a whole different new ride line. There is a promo ride line. Or a whole promo deck, basically. I'm going to wait for the peanut gallery, because I have no knowledge of this, to tell me where exactly this promo deck or cards are going to be available at, so I can figure out when or how we might get them in English. It's going to be Korokoro again, just like Virgilla. So we might get a start deck down the road. Cool. Anywho, or a trial deck, technically. Anywho, let's actually talk about what this actually is. So we're going to start off with the ride line and the grade 1. And the ride line is going to be Baby Dragon Gargrex. The fact they're reusing the Rex name scares me a little bit, but I'm not going to talk about premium right now. It's basically just the starter. We go into Iron Claw Dragon Gargrex. Auto in this unit is rode upon by Iron Arm Dragon Gargrex, so basically the grade 2. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Dino Dragon from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then auto when this card is either discarded from hand during your turn, or retired from rear guard by a card's ability during your turn, if you have Vanguard Dino Dragon, put this card into your soul. Nifty! This reminds me of Gaia a little bit.
Which we all know you loved.
Exactly. So, Hector, what does the grade 2 do?
So the grade 2 is called Iron Arm Dragon Gargarex. Little Iron Claw, Iron Arm. Anyways. So the grade 2, when this unit is rode upon by Iron Emperor Dragon Gargarex, cost EB3, look at top 7, choose up to 2 Dino Dragons with different card names from them, reveal them, choose one of the reveal cards, put it in your hand, and discard the rest of the reveal cards and shuffle your deck. And then the other ability act drop, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, Dino Dragon costs EB3 and call this card to the rear guard. That's a lot of EB. Nice. 1 card.
Not to be fair, if nothing else, EBs, you're basically fine. You're only using the ride line effect once, so it's like Levy Dress's ride line. And then if you don't lose any energy blast the whole game, you basically guarantee your rear guard constantly if it keeps dying.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Iron Emperor Dragon Gargarex. Continuous Vanguard during your turn. All of your front row Dino Dragon rear guards get power 5k, basically giving them mini persona rides. Act Vanguard once per turn. Discard a card from your hand. Choose up to 2 Dino Dragons with different card names from your drop and call them to rear guard. If you discarded a Dino Dragon for this cost, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And then auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1. If you have 2 or more different names among your Dino Dragon rear guards, this unit gets power 10k until the end of battle. If you have 3 or more different names, and then it also gets drive +1 until the end of battle. And if you have 5 or more different names and you persona row this turn, then it also gets critical +1 until the end of battle. Jesus.
The critical is, got extra added for.
So it's basically 10k plus drive plus crit if you persona road. Which, let's say you persona road, you meet all the conditions, you counterblast 1 on attack. You are looking at, without a booster, but because you have 5 different, more likely a booster, but without a booster, let's say, you're looking at a 33k triple drive double critical Vanguard swing. An 8k booster makes it 41.
Mm-hmm.
Hot diggity. When this card's either discard from hand during your turn or retire from your back. Cards bill, okay. So I'm just reading certain cards. So it doesn't really retire anything on attack. It's just you discard a card from hand, you make 2 things on board. On attack, counterblast 1, nothing special there. So I'm assuming there's certain cards that have to retire other cards. Otherwise, the grade 1 effect from the ride line makes no sense to me right now.
Well, you have to think grade 2. What's the name? Brachio Force?
Yeah, it retires itself.
True.
Anyway, what the hell? What is this? What is the next card, Hector?
So the next one is Scorching Cannon Dragon Dino Belm. It's the hell? It's a grade 0?
Yeah, that's why I said, what the hell? What the hell is this?
So it's a grade 0. It's 5k power. Threw me off. Rearguard, once per turn, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Gargoyle Resonant card name attacks, if your unit did not stand by a card's ability this turn cost, EB3, stand this unit, and this unit gets 5k in the turn. At the end of the battle, retire this unit. Huh.
Is this supposed to be your multi-attacker? Because it's technically a 10k because of the Vanguard's ability, but come on, give me something better. The hell?
I'm trying to think. The Vanguard didn't multi-attack.
No, the Vanguard's literally just a beefsteak that has 10k drive and crit. And costs 2 things for free.
Where the fuck is the multi-attack in this thing?
I don't know. There's another card, Burst Fire Dragon. This is at least a grade 2 10k. That says auto rear guard when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have a grade 3 or greater Dino Dragon Vanguard, this unit gets power 5k until the end of battle. So with this Vanguard, it's basically a 20k. At the end of that battle, retire this unit and draw a card. Okay, so it's basically just a 20k beatstick that's retire draw. That's it.
Yeah, and the next card is a promo card that's included in the Sky Ride Volume 4 that strengthens it. It's called Festival Gun Dragon Dino Fest. It's a grade 1. When this unit boosts, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and your opponent has no rear guards in the same column, this unit gets 5k, so 13k booster. At the end of the battle, this unit, if either you have more rear guards than your opponent or your opponent's rear guard was retired this word and cost, bind this unit. Look at the top 5 cards to deck. Choose up to either 1 grade 2 or greater unit or up to 1 Dino Dragon normal unit without Sentinel with different card names from this card from among them. Reveal it, put it. My God, that is convoluted for no reason.
And then you were judging me for reading Jackknife.
Where's the multi-attack in this bitch?
Okay. So with the introduction of this whole ride line and promos and set 10 supports, apparently, right? Was it set 10? And now for a set 10 card that straightens the grid. Yeah. So they also revealed a list or a suggestion of a list that this would run. And it runs 4 copies of the Ride Line Grade 2, 4 copies of the Ride Line Grade 1. So you basically can almost guarantee yourself a front row with the Grade 2, and for some reason the Grade 1, but I don't know. Nothing in the deck retires another. What the fuck would you use to retire the Grade 1 to activate? My brain is going, what the hell is this? There's so many fucking Grade 2s in this list. Why?
There's so many grade 2s. Like, I'm still stuck in the grade 0 that stands. Like
apparently this is your only form of real multi-attack. Which, okay, to be honest, let's say you Persona her, right? At least it's a 20k attacker because it gains 5k from the Vanguard's ability. It's a 5k, and then you can swing it for 20k. And then when it restands, it gains another 5k, so it's technically a 25. So it's kind of an attacker. But the fact you have to Persona right to even get those numbers, hold up, is it restricted? Is it grade 3 restricted? If it's not grade 3 restricted, then there's when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with aggression is card name attacks, if you didn't send, if your unit did not send. Okay, so I guess
this is your multi-attacker?
I guess going first, because you can at least hit a 10k, if anything. You can hit a 10k grade 2. The fuck am I reading here?
It becomes a 10k but then so it's 10k, 18k, then becomes 15k. I'm sorry, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with this.
Okay. Alex has joined in on the chat. Oh, okay, I see why they made the grade 1 so it can be used for the other promo deck. It's just like, Jesus. It's like, I was so excited for another boss. See, I'm a connoisseur of boss promo Vanguards, right? Fucking Bat is enough of a statement to that, right? I like boss unit promo Vanguards. I love Petralka. I love the Dino guy. I love as much as I hate, but I still love the Bastion Dark States. I love the new Dark States. It's all about different orders. I love all these promo boss units because they don't have super main support. You have to really make them work with whatever you have that exists. But then this shit comes out. And it's like, what the hell is this?
I was like, I'm trying to figure out what the hell you were thinking about. Even then, I don't know what the hell you're thinking.
This is a 3-attack deck that can be a 4-attack deck if you want to count a very puny fucking column as a 4-attack. Because the only way to actually make the grade 0 decent is to somehow find a way to pump it up with power or boost with it immediately. That way it restands and gains 5k more power, which 5k more power means jack diddly. Triple drive might help you because you might hit a trigger and then bump this up with power. But outside of that, you're doing jack diddly.
You better hope you hit like 2 fronts to be able to be threatening.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the cards they suggested for this, right? And I have some memory of some of these cards and what they do. I'm pretty sure none of these bump other shits with power. Maybe one of them. I'm not sure. No, none of them bump any of these with power, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing is just sitting there doing absolutely nothing than existing as technically a 10k because your Vanguard allows it. Keep in mind, existing as a 10k because your Vanguard allows. Not to mention, hold up, I have another gripe. Not to mention, to restand, it costs a fucking energy. You already have a grade 2 that you want on the rear guard that costs energy. Why the fuck would you want more energy?
This makes no sense.
I was so excited for a pseudo Gaia promo Dino deck again. And then I read this and I'm like, you better give this. Hold up. You better give this in a main set. Crusher Mora Flash type of support. Otherwise,
no.
This is just why.
Okay. To be fair, how long did Bad Bat go unnoticed until they got the Mora Flash? Okay.
Years.
Give it like 3 years, and now we're gonna have something. Oh, we need to hit Gigarex because it's too strong, or High Roller or something again.
I really hope Set 11 introduces something to make this deck make sense. Hell, you know what I would even allow? I would allow a Graham Gray situation where they make it a promo and then they still put it in the main set.
Which doesn't make sense either, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Anyway, I did not expect to rant on that part. I did not expect to get triggered so much on that part. But with all that has been all of the leaks. Now, I'm going to go back up to where we were, just in case, to see if there's any type of news that needs to be covered right away. Talking about next Tuesday and next Thursday stream real quick, though. If I can find the damn things, because I scrolled all the way to the beginning of Butterfight, and that's way too far. Let's see here. So that's the buddy fight. That's that. Excuse me, I apologize. Okay, so next Tuesday stream, we will be getting another buddy fight ride line. Find out which character in the strategy presentation, which we'll be covering, which I'm just going to scroll over. The next ride line is going to be... What the fuck is it? I don't know. I don't see it anywhere. We'll find out. Oh, they never announced it apparently, so never mind. As far as the Thursday stream goes...
Oh yeah, they never did announce that.
Yeah. as far as the Thursday stream goes, they're introducing set 10 support cards, a triple rare for Odium,
Oh, yeah.
a double rare and rare for Vanguard for a total of 3 cards. Now, here's the thing, right? More Odium support? Fuck yeah. Odium's already a decent deck. More support? Fuck yeah. And it looks to be like a triple rare grade 1, so you know it's going to be good. Hold up, I'm going to peek the mic for this. They better make Vanguard shit good, because the last support, oh my fucking god, no.
Okay, the last
order
support,
was good.
The order was
the
good.
common order. It was a common.
I thought it was at least a rare.
It was a fucking, and maybe it was a rare, but still it was a fucking common rare order. They just said, here, Vanguard, have something. It was a good order, but it didn't do jack shit. Like, it upgraded the deck, but basically it went from like a C to a B. That's it. It just made it a little bit better. Nothing special. For fuck common rare, I don't know. Oh God. I think that grade 0 Dino Dragon is transitioning over to more of my crash out.
It's just adding fuel, everything's just gonna lead back to it.
Oh my god, it's adding so much fuel. All right, anyway, let's go to the top of the fucking product stream. To the fucking top of the product stream. Now let's just go one by one. Hector, do you want to take the first news of who's returning in the anime? From France.
He is returning from France after he's studying at a fashion school. It is Yu Kondo, which, he does have some drip. He does have some drip. Yep. I don't know what people are talking about. He doesn't know how to dress. You have opinions, but my man's over here has got the Chinese long hair till thing and boots, whatever.
He honestly, I like how he looks. I love that he fucking grew an inch. like he's actually a decent height now. That he's not small little you anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's nice.
Now, there's parts of Discord that we're reading are a little bit segmented. I'm just gonna jump straight to the next thing in the sense of, because Yu's back, of course he's gonna be the box cover of set 11.
Yeah, that actually looks really nice. I'm not gonna lie.
And yeah, it's a whole new Verena. I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know if you've ever watched Gundam 00, but one of the Gundams where it has like the things that attack on their own. Yeah,
it does. Speaking of set 11, not only a new Verena is getting introduced, but I can already hear Lon finally rejoicing, and I don't know why for the second part. We're also getting new forms of Seraph Snow and Leonore. Why Leonore?
Why Leonore?
I'm gonna... Huh?
Why Leonore as well? Because that thing has how many forms now?
OG, okay, no.
2,
Trial Deck
3,
Leonore,
4.
OG Leonore, Mask Leonore, Vivace Leonore, and now... Hold up, I'm gonna read all the names. So this Leonore is Bandmaster of Blooming Dreams, Leonore Traumend, whatever.
It's traumatized.
So that's 5 different forms of Leonore that we've gotten.
And nobody asked for.
While Seraph over here had the OG Seraph, had the Grey Force Seraph, and now finally, among all the OG ride lines, Aurora Belle Princess Seraph Clearlight. And then last but not least, the box cover, Judgment Blade Equip Ars Verena.
Ars, not Arcs.
It's arse. It's fucking arse. And yes, some peanut gallery pointing out count Jewels. Start deck Jewel, OG Jewel, Master Jewel, Ignis, and we're technically getting a new Jewel. I know. But then, I can top that. Count how many fucking youth perks we have.
Hey.
And yes, I'm counting revolt forms. I am counting revolt forms.
Hey. Listen, that's his main shtick. That's a whole
revolt forms.
It's a whole different story.
Is it a triple rare grade 3? Is it a triple rare grade 3 that goes on your Vanguard and does Vanguard mechanic shits?
2 of them. 3 out of the 4.
All of them.
No, the Zest was not triple
Give me
rare.
a revolt form that goes on rear guard. Hell, the new... No, we already got a new revolt form. It doesn't go on rear guard.
Yeah. Not yet.
Anyway. That's set 11 news from the product stream. There's been a lot more other things. A real quick note is the fact that Deer Days 2 is going to get an upgraded vintage set update to include limit break stuff. So you're going to get your limit breaks. You're going to get your... I don't even remember something. Oh, no, I think that's Nebula Lord, if I see it right, and I think that's Blondezel or something like that. I don't know, man. These are old sets. These are before my time.
No, that is Spectral Duke. That is Blondezel. That is Spectral Duke. And I believe that is Hemske, Leopold, and Dino Thing, I think.
Yeah. And then you got... Oh my
Garmor.
God, I think that's reverse. Yeah, that's reverse. No, that isn't reverse. That isn't reverse.
Vowing Saber Dragon reverse?
Yeah, Vowing Saber. And Garmor.
That's Garmor.
Man, I remember this. Anywho. Hey, Hector. Product stream happened. Therefore, a new ban list came out. You want to read the ban list before I lose my shit?
You know what's funny? They didn't actually post it on here.
Yes,
I don't think they posted on here, but I remember it specifically. So
hold up, I got you.
Okay, here it is. Okay, so the first one, well, everybody expected to happen, but not how we wanted to happen. Bob Sakura got another hit. All they did was choice restrict Bob Sagara and Drag Vita, which does nothing to the deck. We needed
it makes it to where whenever they drive check it doesn't feel bad because they are still triple driving, so it's like +6. Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. So I get it. Like in the rare moments where it's like you hit the OT, it's not, always dead, but they're just gonna replace it with blue OT. That's OTs are OTs, and it doesn't really change much. But what we wanted everybody, I think, collectively in the community agreed, we wanted the restandard to be hit to at least 2 maximum.
Actually, I can see the restandard getting I can see the restandard not getting hit because it was such a new card, so it'd be pointless why make a new card and hit it. Like they've done that too much times in the past, they won't want to keep doing it. What I could have seen happen, because they did this and we're going to talk about this, I could have seen a complete errata of the restandard where we finally see in standard the return of hard once per turns. So you can only use 1 copy of it during a turn. So at least give it 4 attacks, but don't you be able to spam it with 5.
Yeah. I think with the fact that they made that one like that, because it's the same way with like Alcalibras, where like you technically have 4 attacks, but you can have 5. And on to the next. I don't know the names of those two. You know the names to it, so they're just. I'll let you talk about that one.
Fuck it, yeah. So Bat finally got on the ban list. People were predicting it because too many people were bitching about it. And I'm looking at all of you. And we got a new promo that kind of started signalizing, okay, I think they're thinking about putting it on the list. So they give us this emergency promo to kind of replace Moya Flash. And Moya Flash did get hit and restricted to 1. So you still can run it, but it's only 1. So it's a little bit harder to find. You're not going to be as consistent. You're not going to be able to do certain loops as easily anymore, but you can still potentially do everything the Bat used to do. It's just going to be a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. What I didn't expect is them to also hit our grade 2 promo that the name escapes me, unfortunately, because it's such a weird fucking name, and Tecton.
Yeah. The
To
Tecton
one of two you can only play one of these two, either the grade 2 promo or Tecton. Seviat. Thank you, Seviat.
Yeah, because I remember Tecton. I remember that's the one, if you discard it or something, you can search the top 5 for an order, I believe.
Exactly. So it kind of became busted because in the early game, if you saw him, you just keep discarding Tectons, keep adding orders to your hand. That way, Moloflash just put a shit ton of orders in because you kept finding them. And because the way Tecton worked is a discard, you rest the grade 1 monster research, you put Tecton into the order zone, you call Sevia. Sevia grabs a monster from your order zone, adds it to hand, but if you do this effect, you have to discard a card. So you just discard the Tecton you put from order zone into your hand, and you keep searching the top 5 again.
Yeah.
So it was a really good combo that really just accelerated the bat combo and putting more orders into order zone using Moloflash. And I agree, it is a strong combo, but at the same time, it's like, we already got Moloflash. Why 2? What the fuck?
You know what they said? They cut your leg off, one leg off, and they said, you know what? I don't think that's enough.
They cut 2 of them. I can at least get around with one leg.
Yeah, but they also cut off the other arm. They cut one leg off and said, you know what? That's not enough. Let me give me one of your arms too. So now you got one arm and one leg.
No, they cut off both. They cut off both of our legs. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still standing. Not going to get rid of me that easy.
No. But something that nobody saw come out of left field was the defensive roar. Okay, we kind of did. It was defensive roar to 1.
I did. Being able to reuse the OT, and if you had more of them, it's like, I'm going to OT guard this and put it back to my hand, and I can guard the rest. Next turn, I'm going to OT guard this and put it back to my hand and guard the rest. And OT again.
Agreed. Like, I myself used Defensive Roar. I put 1 copy and like just about most of my Dragon Empire decks. It was the fact that Shiranui started playing 3 to 4 in every single fucking deck. Yeah,
because it needed to survive until it can stride enough to kill you. And it's such a fucking value card.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a 1 does make it to feel a little bit... Honestly, it feels more like a Regulus piece now, which honestly, it had the power of 1 almost.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things that's like, if you had extra space and you didn't know what to put in, you just throw in a Defensive Roar because it was just that good. It's just, there's no harm with it. Because I myself have used that, the OT effect multiple times.
Exactly. And then the last hit, Alex, help me with the name because I have no idea what the card this is. The last hit that nobody saw coming, or at least I didn't, is Slave Tugging Bell, a Stoicheia card that got completely banned. Now, not restricted to 1, not... Oh, sorry, Slave. Sleeve, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
It got completely banned. I have honestly no idea why. Yeah, but I have no idea why. But I can figure out why, because luckily Bushiroad issued a whole explanation for certain cards. So, need to find it. Sleeve Tugging Bell banned due to Sleeve Tugging Bell sending all cards from bind zone to drop zone for free. It makes having cards bound as a cost hard to implement, causing this card needing to be removed from the format in order not to prevent future development. So there is specifically forbade it because it caused problems. Making cards bound as costs hard to implement. Which, according to Alex, is Aggro Siren.
Yeah, Argo Siren. It was a weird deck that you could put into Argo Siren and whatnot. There was that possibility. Zorga used this, but they played it like a one of, most I see. We really think they did it because we're suspecting a pre-ban for the new Stoicheia boss that's coming.
For the non-nuclear, yeah. We're going to talk about that suspected future proofing for non-nuclear, which I completely give Bushiroad a fucking 5-star review because they're preemptively preparing not to stuff get broken. But before we get to that part and why that is potentially a really good theory for other reasons that Alex is not going to like, I'm going to talk a little bit about what they also said about the other bands. So Bastagar and Dragveda, on top of Dragveda also providing drive checks to restand critical Vanguard, the using of Seal Blaze Sword for an additional drive on both Vanguard swings is providing unhealthy for the format, as can settle a fight just from the interaction. So makes sense. 2 swings of a very beefy double critical triple drive Vanguard is kind of stupid. So the restriction kind of makes sense, but it didn't really do anything for Bastagar in the sense of meta. Then you got Moa Flash restricted to 1. The interaction between Moa Flash and Eldeglima, where it is possible to resolve Eldeglima multiple times within the same turn, is then too powerful. So in order to lower the maximum number of times that Eldeglima can be resolved, Moa Flash has been restricted to 1. I find this reasoning fucking bullshit. Because I used to be able to execute multiple Eldeglimas without Moa Flash in the past. Moa Flash did make it more consistent, but what the fuck?
Majority of the community collectively agreed that Moa Flash was a problem.
No. Okay, I agree. Moa Flash is a problem.
Majority of the community.
So here's the thing, right? While Moa Flash and Crusher are really good for the deck and they improve the consistency and the threat of the deck, the problem is the deck is still very high rolly. Like, if you're not executing your problems correctly or not seeing your cards, you're not doing anything. The reason I think the deck should have got restricted to play more like a normal deck is because it didn't play like a normal deck. Bat is literally solitaire. You either succeed in Bat and kill your opponent, or you don't succeed in Bat and you die. There's no in between. Like, there's nuances where, let's say you did like 15 set orders in Order Zone and are ready to kill your opponent, and then on the first swing your opponent takes the damage into the OT, and it's like, oh well, OT. But that's OT. That's just OT happened or whatever. Bat was literally, I succeeded at getting to a shit ton of orders, and my drive checks proved something good, you're basically dead. Or I missed Moa Flash, I don't have enough orders, it's not worth doing the restand, and I don't have enough to really to put any pressure or kill you, I think I'm dead. That's what Bat was. Bat was literally playing solitaire.
Yes, but still, Bat showed up a lot of times in the high tables as well as...
Not as much as Bob, not as much as...
I agree.
This is actual fact.
100%. Not as much as Bob, and Bob still needs to be
This is an actual fact. I'll look through the data later and correct myself later if I need to. But from my memory, if my memory serves, there's more representations of Levidress, Razel, Basagara, even I think maybe even Shiranui. I'm gonna be skeptical on Shiranui, but there's more representations of those 3 decks than there was of Bat. I don't see Razel on this list. I don't see Levidress because they were on the last list. Let's be honest, they were on the last list.
Well, yeah, Levidress and Razel were both on the last list.
And then let's be honest here. The Bob restrictions, like, okay, Valor to 1, nice, but this other one is like, what the hell?
Yeah, no.
And even with all those restrictions, I need to double check Japan results, but I didn't. Even with all the restrictions to Razel, Levidress, and Bob, Bat still wasn't showing up as much as them.
But when it did show up, it was up there with the strongest deck of the meta.
Now, I'll tell you this. Yeah, because it is a strong deck. It's because it's literally, it succeeded in what it wanted to do. It was a WinCon deck. It was a OTK deck. It was a, I got to see what I wanted to do. Yay. I win. But here, I honestly think the reason it got restricted is because too many people complained of, I'm not playing Vanguard, because you really aren't. I agree with that. You're not playing Vanguard. You're sitting there hoping they brick.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think Japan has just that natural habit of, like, if there's too much gamble, we don't like it.
Man, I spent literal years trying to make that fucking deck work. I remember before Morflesh, before Scrusher, being happy getting to 12 set orders, and my opponent going, what does this do? It's not once per turn? Oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah, we've all felt that. Yeah, we've all suffered at that one point or another.
But I'm going to put a bow on this with this statement. While this hurts bad a lot, it's not dead. Like, still be very bad. The new promo does make it play a little bit differently and does open up new avenues. Scrusher is still there, so he is still a double critical restanding threat. And you still have at least one Moe Flash, which means if you see it, you're golden.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about the erratas that also happened.
Yes. Do you want to cover them?
Sure. So the first one is
Good sir, you're not getting your face recorded, so shut up.
Yeah. So the first two are actually Stoy orders specifically. So the first one is Gather Upon Me Ye Wandering Souls, which is skill is choose one of your vanguards and it gets +1 drive into the end of turn. There's obviously other parts to it, but it is what it is. So they change it to now choose a grade 3 card with Zorga in your right deck. Reveal it if either you reveal a card or you have a grade 3 card of Vanguard with Zorga, then choose one of your vanguards and you get draft +1. Essentially just restricted to Zorga so you couldn't just throw it into anywhere, because I believe Berg was thrown into Berg, it was thrown into Argos Siren, maybe. It was thrown into
It was anything. It was literally anything. It's an extra fucking drive. Anything can be thrown into.
If anybody has seen the channel, Alex just likes to randomly throw that shit anywhere.
This is actually a very funny joke, because both the orders that got restricted, Alex likes to try to throw them in any deck he can.
Yeah. So the other one is Nectar of Sensationalism. The old effect is choose one of your rear guards and 10 turn. It gets 5k for every 5 cards you drop, and if your drop has 15 or more, it gets +1 critical. They change it to the exact same thing. You need to have a grade 3 Zorga in your ride line or grade 3 greater Vanguard with Zorga. So in Berg, I know this thing was going to be a fucking powerhouse.
Like I said, Alex wanted to throw this in everything. Oh, look, Lascaria has a restanding rearguard. Let's throw Nectar of Sensationalism in. Oh, look, Cristianos has a restanding rearguard. Let's throw Nectar of Sensationalism in. Oh, look, Buddha Bug. I need to play orders. Maybe I can throw Nectar of Sensationalism in.
Like, he would try to fit this into anything. But there's also the possibility, because of what we believe to be a future proofing of the bell, Sleep Token Bell, that this is also future proofing for whatever the hell. For what the hell's her name again?
I literally just read it a second ago. 1 sec. It's up here somewhere. Actually, someone's going to type it here in the next 3, 2, 1.
The Fairy Girl, not Belle. Oh, yeah. Mushy King was also the one I really used. Ye Wandering Soul.
Yeah. I guess they're not going to write.
Monoclear.
Talking about
Nonaclear.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So it's a preemptive strike for Nonaclear. And
another rule update was regarding Whitewing and Blackwing, apparently. Essentially, now Whitewing and Blackwing will be active only if your Vanguard is a less than its card name, which is future-proofing, but also hurts my Petralka deck a little bit, because I had a card in there that was Whitewing and all that, and it's like, I could have used this. Oh, well.
I know also Matt liked to throw a couple of Whitewings, Blackwings into certain lyrical builds. I've seen a couple of things he's done that.
And then here's what they really said. Oh yeah, high five abuser, yeah. Fighter rule updates due to future card development. The Cardfight Vanguard development team is always working on new card designs and game balance improvements to ensure all fighters can continue to have a great game experience long into the future. With this in mind, as we develop new cards, we had to take a close look at some previously developed cards and rules. As a result, we'll be implementing restrictions, erratas, and rule changes for certain cards and rules. We understand this will impact fighters who enjoy the cards and rules, but we will continue to strive to develop existing cards for future cards. Nana Clear is going to do something busted. I can already see it.
It is. I think
The
they
new
finally
Jewel
realized.
maybe even too.
Yeah, like so I think they finally realized, holy shit, we made Bob Segar too fucking busted. We got to do something to make sure the next one is not so busted right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently she is like the final boss of the season, since she is like the former captain of the Blackout, the comeback and all that. So it kind of makes sense. But let's be real here. Anytime we had a final boss and it was like the main boss unit, they've usually been shit.
Yeah, I'm remembering back to you remember the old in the G era, the Divine Cater Sanctuary leader, the guy that's weakness is a sin, Supremacy Dragon?
Yeah, Claret Sword.
Claret Sword, yeah. Like he was supposed to be the big bad, but Claret Sword was shit.
He turned out
factually.
shit. Giza was supposed to be the big bad, and he was honestly good for a bit, but then he turned out shit.
In Premium, Giza Angel Feather is still a fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's not as good as it used to be anymore. It is still a thing, I will admit. It is still strong. But then you go look at over here, right? Dragon Tree. This was supposed to be the end all be all.
And then it was a meme. Dragon Tree's a fucking meme.
Dragon Tree's a fucking meme. Ugh.
Did I tell you that?
what
Like,
was it?
hold on, a little tidbit. Did I tell you that?
You want to actually? No, sorry. I'll let you continue. I just need to get this off my chest because this is trauma. This is just sad past trauma from G era. Man, look at this cool looking boss unit. Oh my god, stack 12 cards on the top of your deck or some bullshit like that. Demiurge. Man, that was so shit.
No, but the last BCS, the free fights, where they started doing it, the very first opponent that I faced was actually Griffogala. When I seen it pop up, I was like, yes. Everybody looked around and was like, oh shit. And I actually kind of played a little bit too much with fire. I let him get so close to the point where he was actually going to over-team me the next turn.
Brother man.
It was fun, man.
In other news, Buddy Fight is still happening. Future Buddy Fight, we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 ride lines. Apparently. Oh,
Yes.
no, 6. Sorry, we're getting 6 ride lines. 6 things.
4 more, total of 6, yes.
Yes. And then apparently there's going to be a Buddy 5 rare that's 1 per box. That's a whole fucking golden card.
Which
All
the
right.
1 per box is actually kind of cool.
It is. In other news, set 3 in September of Token Rambu Online.
I totally forgot about the Sword Boys.
I'll say it like this: if it sells in Japan, I don't blame Bushy. Make that money. Otherwise, why? Just why? With that though, the product schedule right now is as such. We have Buddy Fight coming in Japan on July 25th, followed by Booster Set 9. I want to say 9, 10. No, 10. Sorry, 10 on August 8th, and then you got Token Rumble September 5th. Then you got Set 11 coming October 10th. And we have confirmation, but no art, for Lyrical Booster 2. DZ Lyrical Booster 2 in November. I have Peanut Gate already saying finally, because I agree a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do. I have one prediction. I know one thing that they're definitely going to do.
Dress up for Absolute Zero.
Dress up for Absolute Zero, Trick or Treat,
yeah.
Lorosaurus, and Fennel. No, Fennel was Trick or Treat. Sienna, thank you, Sienna.
Sienna was also Trick or Treat.
Those 4 dress ups are my prediction. And Alex wants Riviera, which honestly might happen. Like we got Lore. No, we didn't get Lore. We got Pacifica. So you know what, Riviera might happen.
That is nice to finally see it. That's why I've already picked up my I picked up my stuff for Absolute Zero.
Absolute Zero is a fun deck.
Only problem is every other staple for lyrical is expensive as fuck.
Yeah, the only staples you actually need in Absolute Zero is Yuka. Everything else is generic. Everything else is from the same set that it came out and is super cheap. The only other card you might need is a set 1 card to kind of multi-attack extend, but I'm pretty sure that card is also still cheap.
Mm.
And then one more thing that's not happening in Vanguard Japan or Vanguard English that I'm just going to mention as on a side note. Apparently there's a Vanguard collab with Kamen Rider.
It's not in English. It's in Thai.
It's in Thai, yeah. So Thai is getting a collaboration with Kamen Rider. Oh wait, there's a collab for set 10 and JP? What the hell?
Mm.
Where is that news? Oh, Bang Dream Heal. Yeah, that's heals. Yeah. It's just heals.
It's basically like the crits, it's just more waifus and, people who want to.
To be fair, that will make certain Bang Dream decks better because certain decks need specific names for costs. Like John was playing, I believe it was Morphonica, and you can discard the crit trigger for certain effects, which means if you get another heal trigger of that, you're just getting more buffs.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, it is a buff, but it's Bang Dream.
Yeah. And also, little tidbit for Deer Days, too. Next week, June 26th, Set 5 is coming out.
Correct.
That one was out of left field. I didn't see that one coming soon.
Okay, here's the thing that's been overset for Deer Days. This is cool news. It really is. Playing Odium in Deer Days. Nice. The set releases in Deer Days between the actual set releases in real life are way too big of a gap. The relevancy and the hype for this is just not there.
It's fun. I like it. I like seeing it because sometimes.
Look, man, I'll be happy I can Moaflesh Crusher people in Deer Days. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh God, we don't need that.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, the last thing we're gonna end it on is the fact that we just covered the product stream, which basically means, there's another product stream coming sometime later in the future. There's technically 2 streams to mention. The first is the next presentation stream is going to be September 24th. And there will be a Bushiroad 15th anniversary plus New Year stream held January 12th, 2026, literally a day after my fucking birthday. God damn.
This should be a fun time for you.
Let's see what presents I get. Give me a new brew. I wanted to make a proclamation, but I don't know what proclamation I want to make. It's like, if Bruce gets revealed on the January New Year's 50th anniversary stream, I'm going to do X. I don't know what X is, though.
You know what there's a possibility of?
What?
They give us like 15th anniversary Vanguard stuff and bring out another Overlord and another Blaster Blade stuff.
I took the sticky note off. I used to have a sticky note up here that said Dragon Overlord DX, Phantom Blaster, or something that was Revenger.
True.
Can you imagine that? Revenger's back.
That. I would love Revenger's back.
Phantom Abyss Dragon, wasn't it?
Yeah. Phantom PBA, Phantom Abyss Dragon. Phantom, no,
PBO, I do still have one more sticky note up here that I'm waiting for it to come true eventually. That says Grade 4 Liela Morta. I don't know if it's gonna come true. Well, it's up here.
I don't know about Grade 4, but definitely gonna see Leo.
There's a fucking
Immorta.
card. No, there's a fucking card that Leo got a support of that searches the top 5 cards of the deck and specifically says add a grade 3 or greater Immorta or Liel. Add a grade 3 or greater or Liel. It searches the top 5 cards of the deck. Why would it say grade 3 or greater if there is never going to exist?
Don't most cards
I understand
say
future
grade 3 or
proofing
greater?
for strides, but not this.
I have to take a look at some of it. So the cards have abilities that say grade 3 or greater, or it's just all of them.
Anyway, I think with all that being said, I think we can end this video here. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
2.5 hours later.
So not quite the 3 hour mark, but pretty close.
Hopefully next time you may be available. I'll try to get Atreus on since we're getting more buddy fight.
Yep, we get
But we'll
4
see.
more worlds. Magic World, Katana World. That's was it Demon World? And I forgot what the last one is.
Good sir, like I said, in our group, you are the fucking expert.
I forgot the name of it, but it's like a mishmash of everything, kind of like
100 demons, apparently.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of like reverse, where you take a little bit of everything.
So you see on the picture that we're seeing all 6 of them, how the first 2 that we already covered have the same flag. Does that mean the other ones are going to get different flags?
Yes, the first 2 are Dragon Worlds. The third one the middle one is the Magic World. The fourth one is Katana World. So those are all different flags. The other one, the 2 the same, is the Dragon World.
Nice. Well,
welcome, guys. This is V Time 240. What was it? 247. I had to look it up and I had to check it up.
Did you get it right?
No, I did, because the last week me and Philip recorded was 246. I don't know if he's got that one out just yet, because I don't know if he has.
It's not out.
Yeah, it has the time to edit it. So once this one comes out, it'll be 247. I don't know. Maybe he scraps that.
It should be 247. Yeah,
unless
you're
he
right.
puts them together and then he just makes 246, 247. I don't know. Anyways, so unusual. It is not Philip today. It is the both of us. He is indisposed at the moment. So hello.
You get us 2, which are some of the worst 2 people to actually host something without adult supervision.
Because normally we at least have Alex, the second best option when it comes to at least technology. We don't know shit about technology, or at least I don't.
Not one bit. Yeah, no.
So we're gonna go ahead and start just going over buddy fight releases and the new stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the first one that they released, which is for Katana World, which actually wasn't even a flag. It was actually just a little Friday night release before it, which is
It's a sneak peek.
Yeah, a little sneak peek. It is a Katana World PG, which, it does the same thing. It's Accelerate, Ninja, Hayate, Continuous, Sentinel, and then the auto effect. When this unit splits the guard circle, choose when units cannot be hit to the battle. Hand has 2 or more, choose a card and discard it. So the good PG.
Yeah, the good PG. I don't think they'll make the bad PGs again.
No, let's just start decks.
If they do, no one will buy it. So they got to just go with the good ones.
Yeah. Plus, if they couldn't, because I don't think you can run any normal Vanguard stuff and buddy fight stuff. So
No, it's its own thing.
so they have to make the top PG.
Mushi King was the exception. I don't think there's another one. Yeah. No. Okay. So who is the one that John always plays?
Morphonica,
The chicks that.
Bang Dream,
No, Bang Dreams by itself.
Morphonica. Then.
It's the girls that they're all the nations, like they have the crest that makes them do their own special thing. Like the Keter one is the win con that just wins if you have
Quints.
Yeah, so quintesses or quintuplets and Mushi King are parts of the other nations. All the other collabs are by themselves.
Oh,
So Token Rambu is by itself. Shaman King was by itself. Ragnarok was by itself. And so this is also going to be by itself in the buddy fight area.
yeah. But this gets its own booster rocks. Anyways, you want to take it away with the very first flag for Katana World?
I will grab the flag. Let's go. Let's go down. Katana World. Buddy Fight Flag Katana World. This is exciting. The flag's effect is auto Vanguard. When you do stand up, cost, say, raise the flag. You have to do that or else you're disqualified. Say, raise the flag, and you become a buddy fighter! Exclamation point. When you become a buddy fighter, put a buddy monster from your ride deck into your order zone. Continuous, you can only put one flag in your deck. Continuous, Vanguard / order zone. This card is unaffected by all other effects, abilities, and effects. And when you would ride or call or play the ability of a card that is only buddy fight, if that card is Katana World or a generic, you can ride or call or play that ability. So it allows you to actually play the deck.
Yes. It actually allows you to.
That was a very roundabout way of saying you have to have this card to play the deck. That's a very roundabout way of saying that.
Pretty much. All the flags / worlds are like that, so that way it shows you, hey, you can't just be mixing unless it's generic, of course.
Yeah, unless it's generic.
All right. And so
if you want to grab the next one, I think this is a grade 1 in the ride line.
it is a grade 1. It is Aibo Academy Zanya Kisaragi. Grade 1, obviously. And then auto, when this unit is placed by writing from Katana World, cost, reveal a grade 3 with Zanya's card name, and put a Shinobi Scrolls token into your order zone. So that's let me see where it goes. It is
we'll grab the yeah, we can go ahead and grab the scroll next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to that. I'm gonna go ahead and read the scroll. So the scroll is a grade 1 token order. It's called Shinobi Scrolls. This card represents a Shinobi Scrolls and cannot be put in a deck. So act order zone. Once per turn, cost, pay 1 gauge, put a card from your hand face down to the cards into this card's buddy soul and draw a card. So this card itself has a buddy soul. Mm-hmm. And then another one, act order zone. Once per turn, choose a Ninja Arts order other than Blitz orders from this card's buddy soul and play it. And this does count towards the order limit for the turn. And then auto order zone at the end of turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Zanya in its card name, and you do not have a Secret Sword lethal formation in your order zone, cost, pay 3 gauge, and say final phase, choose a Secret Sword lethal formation from your this card's buddy soul and put it into order zone. The Secret Sword formation, the impact, we'll get to that later. And then auto order zone, when your Vanguard is attacked, choose a Ninja Arts Blitz order from this card's buddy soul and play it. This play counts toward for this. Basically, it's a whole defense mechanism. This
There's a lot of words on this card.
Yeah. So to make this is essentially, it is kind of like Impaldio in a way, whereas when Impaldio you hit, then you do something, you damage. This one is basically not more like Impaldio, kind of more like what's his name, Lascaria, where you play blitz orders. And then if you play one, you do something. You can play another one if you play a specific one and you do effects. This is kind of like that. But you need the player to put the cards into the soul in order to play that. This one's gonna get very convoluted very quickly.
Yeah. All right. So after we read the scroll, now we're going to move over to the grade 2 in the ride line. And I'll actually get to read this one. Is first rank in elementary school division, Zanya Kisaragi. Auto, when this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 with Zanya in its card name, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Ninja Art or Ninja without Sentinel from among them, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Alright, so you just get to find a piece off the top 5. Yeah, most of your deck should be Ninja or Ninja Arts, so that shouldn't be... That should be just, all right, grab anything you want but a PG.
Pretty much, because I'm pretty sure everything in there has Ninja in its name. Unless you're playing generics, which I don't think you should. But the fact also that the name, first rank in elementary school division.
But these are young kids. This is Pokemon.
To be
Pokemon
fair,
ages, dude.
Pokemon 10-year-old, 20, 30 years of experience, but being a 10-year-old.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum being 10 years old for an entire fucking millennia.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the grade 3, it's actually normal. Aim to be the ninja user of justice Zanya Kisaragi. So continuous. During your opponent's turn, you can play up to 2 orders, so 2 blitz orders.
Just like the Wascario that we were talking about earlier, where you get to play more than 1 order.
For a specific one, but this just says 2.
Yeah.
So that's actually not bad. And then act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost CB1. Choose up to one each of a ninja arts without sentinel and a ninja without sentinel from your drop and put them into your hand. That's stupid. And then clear Serenity. Act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost so +1. Choose a grade 3 from your drop and put it.
Nope. Choose 3 cards.
Oh, choose 3 cards from your drop and put them face down as gauges. Bro. Okay, to be fair, when you're playing a lot of blitz orders, you need the gauge. So yeah, so
and a lot of skills are 2 or 3 gauge.
Yeah. I mean, CB1, get 2 cards back, get gauge, it's not bad.
Counterblast 1, you get 2 cards from your drop to your hand without sentinel, so you can find your pieces, say they got retired. You just add some pieces back. Mm-hmm. And then you also get to take 3 cards from your drop and put them as gauge.
Yeah, so 100% this is a very defensive focused deck. But we're going to see the skip on down to the first Ninja Arts, if you want to read that one.
I'll grab it. Art of Explosive Hades Fall. In parentheses, after a set order is played, put into the order zone. Gotcha, Chief. Play this with cost, pay 1 gauge. Auto, when this card is put into your order zone, search your deck for up to 1 card. Put it face down in this card's Buddy Soul and shuffle your deck. So again, with specific orders, Buddy Souls. And then auto order zone. When your opponent's rear guard is placed during your opponent's main phase, cost, discard a card from this card's Buddy Soul. And if the grade of the card discarded for this cost is equal to the grade of the unit placed, retire that unit. The abilities of the units that are placed will not be nullified. So all the auto on place effects will still activate, but that's just, you activated my trap card. Bang!
That's exactly the thing. This is just trap hole. And it's like,
yeah, this is exactly trap hole. It's like, you played that? Which is really cool because you actually get to think. It's like, I know what deck I'm playing. They put a lot of grade 2s on the field. They put these specific grade 2s, these specific grade 1s that are important and integral to the play style of the deck. Pop.
I mean, think about it. Early game, put grade 1s in there. Oh, you want to call Philia, call Shenry, call Saragon? Go ahead and pop it.
Or, God forbid, Shiranui players, they call the restand. You just shoot it with a bazooka, and then they don't get the restand.
And you're just sitting there. Hey, this is the interaction that people wanted, without the, what's it called? Denial Griffin.
Yeah. All right, we're getting one step closer to hand traps in Vanguard. One step closer to hand traps.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we draw closer to what we try to avoid.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that does seem very cool and unique. I do like that we're doing stuff with orders. More stuff with orders during opponents' turns, and this time it's set orders instead of just blitz orders. Because the only time you've been able to do anything with an order, it's always been a blitz during the opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm.
So a set order doing something during the opponent's turn is pretty cool. Okay, well, let's not count jail, because that doesn't count.
Nah, jail is jail.
Yeah.
We'll worry about jail once we get to set 10, is it?
Anyways, you'll grab the next one.
So the next one is Fuuton, Sweeping Whirlwind, which Fuuton means wind style, thanks to Naruto.
Russian Shuriken.
And then, so there's a grade 1. It is another, I believe, order. It's just another order, normal order.
It's a normal order.
So, order ability. Choose a ninja unit without sentinel from your drop and put it in your hand. Straightforward, not bad. And then the other ability, when this card is discarded from your hand by a call ability, put the top card to your deck face down as gauge and draw a card. Okay, not bad. So, Nice has 2 abilities. You have one that basically just uses as your discarding card.
Yep. So you have a option to either grab a piece that you need or an option to ditch it for like riding and then chuck a gauge in that bitch and replace it, which is very good.
Well, it has to be a card ability.
Oh, by ability. Yeah, okay. My bad. It's still, say like Dancing Cutlass for Stoicheia. If you discard it during your turn, you can EB3 draw a card.
Oh,
This
I'm
one you
thinking
discard-
of old school Dancing Cutlass. Call
No,
CB.
No, sadly they massacred my boy and they made it not even able to go into Grand Blue. But
Stupid as hell.
standard Dancing Cutlass, when you discard it during your turn, like the main phase, you get the EV3 draw card. This is just draw card. It just gets rid of the Energy Blast effect.
Yeah,
So-
pretty good for that.
Yeah, you get a gauge and you draw a card, you know?
Which
That's-
you're going to go
it's
through
not
your
a bad
deck
card, not a
very
bad card.
quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like you will be going through your deck. And I'll grab the next card, which is a Blitz order. So we got set normal Blitz in order. We got Sword Skill Bare Hand Intercept. All right, that sounds like about what I think it's going to be. Choose one of your units being attacked, and it gets power plus 15 until the end of battle. If your opponent's attacking unit is a Vanguard, you may draw a card. All right.
Dude, just draw another card.
Just draw another card. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? And that does. See,
No, we have more.
yeah, and then you can play it. You can play it technically twice because if you have 2 copies, you're able to play 2 orders during your opponent's turn with your Vanguard's continuous effect.
So there's a lot more order cards we're about to see. So it really is just a bit matter of choosing what you want to have in your deck and what you want to play.
We're gonna
For
have
example, the
toolbox.
next-
This is a toolbox deck for
Yeah,
sure.
this is whatever said a toolbox. So the next one is called Ninja Arts Snake Gaze. So it's another grade 1 order. Notice that all of these are grade 1s so far. But yeah, for this one, this is another Blitz order. Choose one of your units being attacked, and it gets another 15k to the battle. Then discard a card from your hand. Choose one of the attacking rear guards. That unit's continuous rear guard. This unit cannot stand until the end of turn.
Stay down. Get fucked. It's one step closer to Denial Griffin too. It's like you're not standing. You're not going away, but you're not standing. Damn,
Yeah, so
that's-
basically, this is just another way to keep it from, like, if it's a restanding rear guard.
yeah, this deck just
Oh.
shits on Shiranui.
Well, this shit's on Shiranu. It's not only that, but Bob Sagara or Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Shin. Guess what? I'm just gonna block it.
It shits on Shira, Bob, Maelstrom, and a lot of decks with restanding rear guards nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And also, you can, for the discard to discard or something, you could discard the other order that, when discard a card, but it just, get another gauge and draw another card.
Yeah. Because it did it say buy a card's ability, not a unit card. So yeah, so you can discard it and gauge draw. So you
Yeah,
can do a
so-
lot of fucking shit during
This is
your
gonna be-
opponent's turn,
Yeah,
which is pretty fucking cool.
We're getting into that Yu-Gi-Oh! Territory. Oh,
Yeah, it's set 5 pass, fucker.
All right, go ahead and grab the next one.
I got you. Art of Body Replacement. All right, Buddy Fight Blitz Order. This is a Sentinel Blitz Order. Continuous Sentinel. You only have 4 cards with Sentinel in your deck. Play this with cost, discard a card from your hand. Choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit to the end of battle. Choose a ninja without Sentinel from your drop, and put it into your hand. Remove this card. Okay.
Okay.
So, again, pretty good. It's a Sentinel.
I don't know if people are going to play it because, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, why would you not? It does the exact same thing that a Sentinel does do.
Except
And then
you
you could add a
do
card to your
lose Elementaria. And if, let's say, you already played 2 Blitz orders and you need another PG,
that
you
would
still
be the
want.
only issue is wanting to play more Blitz orders. So I could see running this instead of Elementaria, and like running it as a one of Sentinel.
Yeah, it's like a one of Sentinel, still having other normal PGs because normal PGs are still needed.
Or because a lot of people have strayed away from running Elementaria because of like Dragon Empire decks wanting to play Defensing Roar, and they don't want to choose between Elementaria and Defensing Roar, so they might not even play this. It could just be up to personal preference. But it is nice that it does something more than just defending to somewhat entice you to want to play the orders.
Mm-hmm. Well, play more Defending Roars for now. Wait until the ban hit. Anyways, So the next card it's a normal order. It's called 5 Heavenly Swords Onimaru. It is a normal grade 1 order. So it is the arms card. Arm Vanguard. Yeah, so you arm it to your Vanguard and play it after you played your Vanguard arms it. If it's a new item, puts it into the 12 zone. Yeah, everything. You play it with paying 1 gauge. And then auto Vanguard, when the unit armed with this card attacks, that unit gets 5k to the end of the battle, cost soul plus 1. It also gets critical 1, plus 1 critical to the end of battle. At the end of the battle, put this card in your drop zone.
So it's balanced. It doesn't bobs you where it's like, I get my triple drive and crit all turn.
Mm-hmm. So basically it turns into an 18k for, whenever you need it. And then you can just make it 18k double critical. For now,
18k to crit for that battle.
Yeah, making it at least a little bit threatening. So your Vanguard says, it's just Vanguard with 1 damage. Sure,
always an option too that your opponent has to think about. Even if you don't use it, the threat is there. The threat of using it is probably more threatening than actually using it in some situations.
Because you don't know, they may have more, and you can't get it away. So unless you use it.
The best type of removal is player removal.
Yeah.
But I'll grab our first unit other than the PG. But of course, it's Nano Machine Ninja. Tsukikage? Tsukikage. Yeah, there it is. Justice changes if the world is different. Thank you, flavor text. His effect is auto when this unit is placed on rear guard. If you did not call another Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage, this turn, pay 1 gauge and retire this unit. Search your deck or drop for up to a total of 2 grade 2 or less ninja unit cards with different card names from this card without Sentinel. Reveal them and put them into your hand. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. Alright, so it's I play this card, I get rid of this card, I get 2 more cards that are different. So it finds your other pieces that you may want. And then it is continuous on-field rear guard. During your opponent's turn, when this unit would leave the rear guard, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, leave this unit on rear guard. Oh, so he's just like, what is it? Elemental Hero Tempest. It's like, nope, he's staying around.
They basically gave it Buddy Soul without the Buddy Soul. Soul Guard, there we go.
Gave you Soul Guard without the Soul Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that is pretty cool. Like I said, I do like I like this card, and this card could be cool, but I have 2 other cards I would rather have. I'm gonna get rid of this bitch and get that.
It's the first one is always I'm gonna search out the rest so I can have more stuff.
Yeah.
For example, like this one, the next grade 2, it's called Nanomachine Ninja Byakuya. So this one has the ability called Shadow Dive. Continues rear guard during the battle. This unit attack your opponent cannot intercept. So instantly, it's on place Rokusei without the on place. And then auto rigor once per turn. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Zanya's card name attacks cost, discard a card from your hand and stand this unit. So
yeah, we got multi-attack, bitches.
You have your multi-attack.
We got a deck with defense and offense. We're going at it.
Well, sort of, because so far the power hasn't been much, except for the other ability, auto rear guard. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have a rear guard with Tsukikage or Gojin Maru in his card name, this unit gets 5k at the end of the turn. So I can only get 5k if you have another Tsukikage or Gojin Maru.
Yes.
So it's got multi-attack, but it seems to be low-powered multi-attack to kind of balance it out a little bit.
There are different... spoiler, the next card is another Tsukikage. So there is more than just that one option for that card name. That may not be too difficult to reach that 15k beat stick multi-attack requirement. And for decks like Maelstrom just always comes to mind. You don't have a lot of power, but you like poking you a lot. I'm going to poke you. I'm going to poke you. I'm going to poke you again. Eventually the pokes wear you down. So even if it's not a big number, if it happens more than once, it's still going to do what it's supposed to do.
And the funny thing is, like, when you have a lot of pokes and, you know, you just take some and then you can guard a few here and there, you still have your hand to, you know, clap back. Oh, but guess what? On their turn, they're doing a lot more shit than, you know, just attacking. So this is where it gets really fun.
Yeah. I'll grab our next one, though. It's Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage SD. Super delicacy. And auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, cost, pay 1 gauge, choose up to 1 Nanomachine Ninja Byakuya SD, so I'm assuming that's the next card, yep. From your drop, call it to rearguard. Alright, so we're just doing
2 for
shit.
1. 2
yeah,
for
this
1.
is a grade 1, by the way, so this can be in the back row, just kind of chillin'.
Hey.
Act rearguard, choose one of your ninja rearguards. If that unit's buddy soul does not have a card with the same card name as this unit, put this unit into that card's buddy soul. And continuous, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your unit with this card in its buddy soul gets power +5 and shield +5. So you don't even need to, for the last grade 2, you don't even need to have it. You could just put it into a buddy soul.
Yeah, you just put it into the soul. Yeah.
Just chill.
You get more power, so.
Power and shield. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You want to grab the Nanomachine Byakuya SD, the card that it calls from the drop?
So it's another grade 1 Nanomachine Ninja Byakuya SD. So Shadow Dive. So all the Byakuras have Shadow Dive, which just turns off the intercept continuous. And then Auto Rearguard. When this unit attacks or boosts, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and if you have a Rearguard with Tsukikage or Gojin Maru in its card name, this unit gets 5k to them. This unit attacks or boosts. Yeah. So you essentially call the other one, the Tsukikage. You have the Byakuya, put that into that soul, and then have this. But you still need another Tsukikage. So it's just a matter of how much rearguards is. You're basically requiring, hey, call this, bring this, to put this in the soul, to have more, so then call one more out. I could see where this goes into this whole mesh of things. But
so the first Tsukikage can find the grade 2 Byakuya, and it can also find either the Byakuya SD or the Tsukikage SD as well. So you got the one, you can find 2 of your other pieces.
Yeah, so you could search another. So the first one, you could search another Tsukikage to have, or it also we're about to see the next card, which is called a Gojin Maru.
Yep, the other card that Byakuya needs, and I'll grab that one right away. Ghoul Deity Gojimaru. It is a grade 2 ninja. Call cost. So you have to pay a cost to call it. Pay a gauge and put a unit with Tsukikage in its card name and a unit with Byakuya in its card name, each from your rear guard, into this card's buddy soul. So you pay a gauge, take 2 cards, and whoop, underneath this card. So this card's got to be pretty good if you're paying 3 cards for it. So let's see what it does. Auto rearguard. When this unit attacks, if this unit's buddy soul has a ninja, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn. Shadow Dive. Continuous. When this unit is during the battle, this unit attacked. Your opponent cannot intercept. We've covered that. Double attack. Pog. Auto rearguard once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is stand, cost, counterblast 1, and stand this unit. So it's just counterblast 1 again. Stand up. And then continuous Soul Guard. Speaking of Soul Guard, if this card would leave rear guard, put a card from this unit's buddy soul into the drop to make it stay on rear guard. So that's not too bad. You get 2 cards in its buddy soul, so you can protect it twice with Soul Guard. And you have double attack, so you can attack twice with it, as long as your Vanguard is standing.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I can see this being just an instant 20k, because as long as it has a ninja, it comes 15k. But if you have the grade 1 Tsukikage SD, it gets another 5k, so that's instant 20 right there.
It's 28, because they'd be boosting with the Tsukikage SD for the second attack. So it's a 15 and a 28 swing. So that's not too bad. I do not know if it's worth sacking 2 cards for it, because its effect is good, but I don't know if it's worth actually 3 cards because a gauge that could be paid for something else, and 2 rear guards for it.
Yeah, versus the
Because they
other.
need to be on. They need to be on field before you can call this card.
And then and this one, well, it does require this one require 1 CB to restand, and then Byakuya does require a card from hand to stand. But when you have abilities like that one order to that you can discard, so it doesn't really neg itself.
And we haven't seen too much counterblast heavy for this deck, so the counterblast cost might not be too bad.
Yeah,
For its restand, so it might just be an option to use a separate resource for if, like, I'm kind of running low on cards, I'm gonna call this bitch and get a different restander or something. Another option, because it also doesn't need to be the grade 2 Tsukikage or Byakuya. It could be the grade 1 SDE versions that you put in its buddy soul.
Yeah, so you have options to play around with the different ninja cards.
It is cool that it's not restricted to specifically the grade 2s, and you can kind of just play around with the other options, make it work. Oh, you get the fun one. You get the funny card.
So
We get Brant at home.
We do. We have Brent at home art card. So we're going to the quote unquote last card that was revealed in the, I think this was Tuesday or Thursday reveals. I don't remember. But yes, Tuesday. So this is the impact order. If you guys remember, the impact order is one that you play at the very end of your turn, but this one is a little different. So this one is a grade 3 impact order. And it's
this
a
is
set
the one
order.
that was mentioned by the ride line, if I remember correctly.
Yes. This is the it's
grade one
mentioned by the
mentions it?
ordered token that was created by the ride line, which is stupid. So the order itself is a secret sword lethal formation. So continues, you cannot play this card, but the auto hand at the end of your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Zania in its card name, and your order zone does not have a secret sword lethal formation, cost, pay 3 gauge and declare a final phase and put this card into your order zone. So if for some reason you don't have it right off the order, let me bring that back. At the end of the turn, if your grave doesn't have it. So you should have it for some reason. Pay this fit and choose a ninja arson and play it at the end of the turn if you have a. Well, anyways, for some reason you should have it, but in case you don't, it has the ability to play at the end of the final phase. You can play it and then put it into your order zone. But the
You
real
gotta have
ability,
the card to play it.
yeah. So the ability of it, auto. When this card is put into the order zone, search your deck or drop the 1 card, put it face down to this card's buddy soul, and if you search the deck, you shuffle the deck. Nice. But here's the real fun one. Continuous
Here's
order
the funny
zone.
part.
When your opponent's draw check would reveal a trigger card other than heal and over, if this card's face down buddy soul has the same trigger icon as that revealed card, you may turn it face up. If you do, nullify the power increase of that effect upon its trigger and perform one of the following according to that trigger's icon. So basically, whenever you search or grab the card from your drop zone to put it underneath it, if it's the same one that they revealed during the draft check, for example, if it's a critical, your opponent's Vanguard gets -1 critical into the battle, turning it from an instant of 1 to 0 if they're double to 1. If it's a draw, your opponent chooses a card from this hand to discard, so basically nullifying that. And then at the front, all your opponent's front row units get -10k, which is funnier because that one's probably the most difficult, detrimental one, because the ability on its own nullifies a power increase, and then this one makes it lose another 10k.
Yep.
Versus the other one just nullifies the power, and then you just lose another critical. So it just makes it nullifies that crit trigger completely, nullifies a draw completely. But this one is probably the most detrimental for that front.
Yeah, the front trigger is definitely worse because you just lose 10k to your front row.
Yeah.
Or you lose your your opponent loses 10k to their front row.
After the
And then
power is already nullified.
The other ones do not get their power, and they just get -1 crit. So they don't get the critical effect, and they don't get the draw effect. So that's, but the caveat to that is you have to have that specific trigger icon underneath in the soul. So Depending on like your matchup, you can choose. Oh, okay. If it's Razio, I'm checking motherfucking crits under that bitch. Because I know damn well motherfucking crits gonna be shown at some point.
And it kind of reminds me a little bit like of the Mini Gruzio, where people play all 4 triggers in there, either like a 1 front and 2 draws, or 1 draw, 2 fronts, just to have
just so you can have coverage.
Yeah, which in most decks, most of them have fronts, so for having fronts is just nice. Imagine, your opponent hits a front when they have a Bov. Oh, lose 10k, lose another 10k.
Now, before we grab the rarities that they account, we do have 2 more cards, 2 crit triggers that were announced for Ninja World, Katana World. And we also have a grade 1 that actually is not a bad grade 1. So we'll grab the crit triggers here first. We have Secret Arts Dance of the Guardian Swords. It is it's an order critical trigger, so order ability. Play this with cost pay 4 gauge. If your opponent is armed with a weapon, retire all of your opponent's front row rear guards. So that's pretty cool.
An instant wipe.
It's just that's a Bov effect on a stick.
For 4 gauge.
And then you have continuous guard step. Continuous during your guard step of your opponent's turn. This card can be called as a trigger unit, and it becomes grade 0, shield +5, shield 15 guardian.
Yeah, so basically
you have it as an order that you can play as an order, or if you've already played your 2 orders, you can just slide into 15k.
Mm-hmm. This is basically another one of those like triggers, that same thing like every other Dragon World has, where all the triggers are just orders.
I like that. I do like that it gives you another option of shit to do.
Mm-hmm. And then the other trigger is Ninja Arts Steel Ball. It's the same thing. It's another crit, and its order ability is choose one of your ninja units and just gets 3k until the end of turn. And then, of course, the other continuous, it is another 15k Shield Guardian.
So if you you can play this card and put it on Byakuya and make it hit your opponent for 13. If nothing else, it's going to poke your opponent's Vanguard for 13. Just enough to piss your opponent off. And it restands. So your opponent's going to be like, well, I got 2 attacks and they both could hit.
Yeah. It's just enough to poke. Just
enough to piss them off. If your opponent's at 5 damage, you swing, and they're like, I physically have to guard this. Yeah. And it sucks.
And I have nothing but 15k, so I'm overguarding like a motherfucker.
I'm overguarding the piss out of it. I only need 1k to guard. But we do have one more card that got revealed. And it's actually it's not a bad card. It is called Electron Ninja Shiden. And its auto ability is when this unit is placed on rear guard, cost, pay 1 gauge, and discard a Ninja Arts card from your hand. Draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. So it's a grade 1 too.
Yeah, it's a grade 1, and you get to just draw 2. It's a non-place draw 2. Now, is that order specifically Ninja Arts? I believe it was.
The Ninja Arts of grade 1. It just says discarded by card ability.
Yep, I know. I was making sure it said Ninja Arts. So you can discard this card and draw another card. Get a gauge, draw another card.
Yeah, so draw 3.
You can repay. If you discard that 1 Ninja Arts, you get your gauge back you just paid, and you draw 3 instead of 2. So, not bad.
that is pretty. That is like your instant Saragon right up there. And Shedry just having
not bad.
2.
It's also a double rare, as we can see.
Yeah. So we could see them having a lot of fucking draw power with this.
This deck seems to have a decent amount of combo potential, both as the turn player and as the defending player, which is nice.
But those aren't the only cards that were revealed. Or we're going to go ahead and go into the next cards. So last week they mentioned they were going to give us 2 cards for Vanguard and 1 card for Liel. So the first card is a grade 1. I believe it's a rare, common, don't really care. It's Blue Death Star Noshime Occasion. So act. Wow, so did that. Yeah.
Octopus.
Act drop. If your card was not put into the order zone by a card's ability cost, bind this card, choose up to 1 strategy card from your hand or drop, and put it into the order zone. If you put a card from hand, draw a card.
So you get a fucking strat in your order zone in more ways than one. So that's not too bad. And it replaces itself. So the order that you place from hand replaces itself, so you don't neg.
This card up into the zone. Just one from your hand or drop. This is a thing that allows you to play 2. Because this is if your card was not put into your order zone by a card's ability this turn, you can do it. So you
you get to play your 1.
Yeah, you play your 1 for your turn, and then you do this. So this basically allows Vanguard to deplete 2 orders per turn, making it just a little bit better.
It also doesn't specify grade specific, so you can chuck the grade 3 strategy into the order zone early, and then when you get to your
when you finally get to your grade 3, you have the ability to go right off the bat. So it's actually not bad. I looked at it the first time and then I just thought it was trash, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it was to be.
It's an option for sure. It is an option.
And then if you do put from hand, it's just, oh, great. You put another, you get to
draw it back.
Yeah. So it's actually not that bad, actually.
Because you could do this your first grade 1 turn, because you ditch it for ride and then gabagoo. If you have one in hand, place it in, draw a card.
Because sad, we still need a new ride line to search an order on place grade 1. But if you have 2 in your hand for just opening for some reason, then you have this, and there you go. You have something.
You got something. And we do have something else. We got a blue Death Star Macy Distance.
It's another grade 1.
Auto. Yeah, another grade 1. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, if you have a Vanguard with blue Death Star in its card name, cost Energy Blast 3, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 of either a strategy card or a grade 3 card without Regalia's piece, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. Not too bad.
That's bad.
It seems pretty whiffable though, but not too bad. Act rearguard once per turn if you have a Vanguard with blue Death Star in its card name. Cost Soul Blast 1. Choose a Battleroid with blue Death Star in its card name with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your drop. Call it to rearguard in the same column as this unit, and it gets auto rearguard at the end of the turn. Retire this unit until end of turn.
So this is the card that a lot of people were saying it's kind of dead for that second effect, because right off the bat, besides the 2 in the ride line, there's only 2 cards that have blue Death Star that are Battleroids, and neither one are that good per se, because one of them is just on place, choose a grade 2 strategy from drop, put it into your hand. The other one is during turn, this unit attacks at 5k. It's just a 5, 15, 20k attacker, but that's pretty much it. So a lot of people are just saying the second effect is maybe future preparing for Vanguard to get something in later on down the road, which I would love if Vanguard would get a whole new ride line where the grade 1 actually on place searches like every other fucking Brent gate, and then a new Vanguard that does something. So I could see it. I could see it. It has potential. And then the first one, you have 3 Vanguards to search from the regular. You have 3 or 4, depending on how many you play for Richter. And then you have 5 to 6 or 8 for strategy cards. So you have potential to always see something. Granted, that's not including if you, are constantly searching from the other grade 2. So you have potential, but you're right. There's always a potential to whiff. But then again, it's energy blast.
Always the potential to whiff.
Yeah, always the potential to whiff. But it is an energy blast, and I don't think you use a lot of energy in Vanguard because it was a pre-energy deck. So
yep,
it doesn't really hurt that bad.
And now we do have one card. Hector, you'll take us away with this Odium support card.
Yeah, because I used Odium last night.
You did.
So this is a grade 1. It's called Tick Down Dragon. So auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, choose a grade 3 with Leo in his card name from your red deck and reveal it. If either you revealed a grade 3 or you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Leo, same cost, EB3, and perform one of the following. Look at top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 card without Regalia space from among them, reveal it and put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Or choose a face-up Disordered Bane from your damage zone and put it to your hand. If you put the top card of your deck from into your damage zone face up. Choose a face up.
So-
okay. Yeah, and then the last ability, Auto Rigor at the end of the battle, this unit boosted a great 3 Rigor with Vanguard. If you have 4 more regress gauge cost, put this unit into Assault and countercharge 1.
So you get a countercharger, and you can finally get your fucking Banes from the damage zone when you get fucked.
Well, we already have one. Okay, so this is like a mix of that one, which is called Dire for Dull Patience, which that one says, as long as you're a grade 3 or greater, you can EB2 choose either from your damage zone or from your drop. So you have the option. This one only says from damage zone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, and then Patience also says if you have 3 or more, you get an extra 5k. So it's a 13k booster that gets something else. And then you have your personal booster, which makes it a 28k. At the end of it, you can retire it and either gain 3 energy or CB countercharge 1. Well, this is kind of a mix of the two because it looks at top 7 for EB3 to add either Persona Ride or another Bane if you haven't seen it for some reason, or get a Bane from your damage zone and does it? Yeah, just puts it in your hand. But it also you do have to have 4 or more to countercharge. So it is like a mix of the two. So you really have to decide which one you want because with Patience, it's damage zone and drop. And if most of the time, if you have CB, you're going to use an Anchorage Dragon or the Colossus Grade 2 to whatever it started the battle phase, CB1, call it, get something from drop zone to replace it, which most of the time it's going to be that Bane. So you don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. So this is just there for damage zone. But the personal booster is a nice 28k. It doesn't go into Soul, but this one does. But the other one, you need to have 4 more to countercharge, which first turn you're not going to get. You're only going to get up to 3. Most of the time you're going to get to 3. You don't get to the 4th one / 5th until your turn 4.
Your second grade 3 turn.
Yeah, to your second grade turn. So you don't. So I like. But the thing is, you don't need that much CB. You're not really hurting for it, unless for some reason you're really going balls to the wall to get rear guards out. But I could see this being replaced both Patience and the personal booster. Or you can play like a mix of, because most people play they play both Patience and the personal booster, either as a 1 of each or 2 of or something like that, but not too many. So it's a nice card. It's a nice utility card. It's not bad, but it's not also like brand new, we're gonna shit on everybody.
But with those out of the way, we do have some rarities that are being announced for Buddy Fight.
Oh yeah.
We got holo rarities return. Rare and common cards will be holo foiled for the Buddy Fight.
For those of you who play Buddy Fight in the past, this is pretty much exactly what it says.
Yep. And we got ultimate rare cards included. Now they'll flash them up on screen right now. They do look pretty cool with the drum bunker dragon in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
as
got
well as
some here.
The jackknife.
The sword guy.
Katana.
And then we got Katana World right here.
And then of course we see we get the secrets
rares.
for which
we got
is
secret rare of Mighty Sunfighter Gal Mikado. That thing looks pretty sick. I like it. I like it a lot. The foiling's gonna go wild. We got secret rare of Future Force Processor. Was it Syukyu Ryoji?
Which with Jackknife Dragon.
That's gonna go crazy again. Like I can just see the foiling about to just make people's wallets cry, because that's gonna go off. That's gonna go hard.
I really like Katana's World because of the black and the gold and it just kind of just shining like that.
Dude, it just goes wild. Yeah.
And all of that, so you're gonna have secrets, you're gonna have ultimate rares, you're gonna have holos, and then they also
you're gonna be blinged the fuck out.
Yeah, because not only that,
they
they
going
have
to bling
every single
your
box
fucking deck.
It's gonna have 1 buddy rare, which is like the whole gold thing. So this is gonna be blinged out.
Yeah, you got bling boy from fucking Johnny Test up in your fucking deck box.
bling boy.
And then we do have one more thing that we can mention, and that is next week we are going to have... Oh, what am I thinking about? We're going to have...
So next Tuesday, we are looking at... We're getting...
Next buddy fight ride line.
Yeah, we're going to get... Well, next Tuesday before the buddy fight. Next Thursday is the next buddy fight ride line, which is Magic World, if I'm not mistaken, which has the Demon Lord Asmodai. But Tuesday, we're going...
Dangerous Backdrop is going to go hard. I'm ready for that.
Oh, yeah. But Tuesday, we're getting a new Granfia. So the Fur Lords are coming in full swing. And then also we get some Argo Siren support cards, which I'm nice. So it's basically a whole new Stokeia shit's going on for next Tuesday. But
Hector, how do you feel about Granfia getting a new grade 3 before Flagberg gets a new grade 3?
Shut the fuck up. Flagberg has been around since set 3.
Was it 3? I thought it was 4.
No, set 3.
And he is still bad.
He was good for a time, but they just constantly IV drip him support. That isn't good. It needs a whole new ride line. But
how do you think I feel with encounter decks, homie? Like they just IV drip me support, and I look at it like this is trash. I need something better.
True, but
now you know my entire existence.
Yeah, but I understand what a lot of community have been saying with this. The problem with Flagberg, its whole shtick was multi attack. And then when you have decks that have multi-attack equal to the same thing as Flagberg, but their abilities are better, it's like, I understand. You'd have to rework the whole thing.
Overlord. That's my argument with Overlord. A lot of decks just do Overlord but better, and it's hilarious to say the OG is gone.
Yeah. So much as I am hoping for that coping of Flagberg.
Hoping for the copy.
Yes. That one day we'll get a Flagberg retrain or something, but who knows? But we are getting Granfia. And as Alex Dunn said, it just needs to draw because that's what it needs. But more Argo Siren support is nice because, Argo Siren is getting better and better every set.
I think it's time to get off. My cat has said it's time for pets.
Yeah.
We have perfectly addressed all of the cards that have been revealed, and next week we will get more for Matt, who said Magic World, and then the new Granfia ride line and Argo Siren support.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll show up. Maybe not us specifically, but
yeah,
there will be a V time going over all of those cards.
We don't know the whole spiel. Something about 50 cards. Something about become a member, subscribe.
Yeah, if you would like to. Check out 50 Cards TCG, 50cards.shop, and check out his website. He has singles, case splits. He did have pre-made decks. I don't know if they're still in stock, and he has accessories like sleeves and playmats and all of those goodies.
Mm-hmm.
He has super fast shipping, and he's super reliable shipper. Use our code TDHeroes at checkout for a discount. And if you want to become a member of our channel, please do so. We have perks all described in the description of the videos and such. And members of the Sidekick tier and higher, I believe, are able to participate in fan fights that we usually hold once a week if things are going all right, where you get to fight one of us, one of the people at the Top Deck Heroes, playing one of the decks or cards from a deck that have been revealed, and you get to test your grit against those and also play against one of the members of the Top Deck Heroes.
Yes.
So, but anyway, with that out of the way, I'm Atreus.
I've been Hector.
And this is Apollo, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love how the rant started with the Great Zero Dragon, and then it went into the bat.